This is Fox Sports Net.
All royalty in the first three games. Can the Rangers prevent a KC coup? Next on Fox Sports Net Southwest. It's time for Monday Night Baseball at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. It's the American League Western Division leading Texas Rangers taking on the Kansas City Royals in the finale of this four-game series. And the Rangers without Rusty Greer in the lineup tonight. About an hour and a half ago, Rusty was hit with a thrown ball, hit in the left eye by a thrown ball during batting practice. Has some swelling in his left eye. He is seeing an ophthalmologist tonight, not playing tonight. Hopefully Rusty will be okay very soon. We welcome you to Rangers baseball tonight here on Fox Sports Net Southwest. Bill Jones along with Tom Grieve. Royals take the first three games of this series, doing it in all facets of the game, and one of those, team speed on the base paths.
Well, they're taking a lot of chances on the bases, playing very aggressively at this stage of the season. They have nothing to lose. The key is not necessarily, though, how Pudge is throwing. It's how well the pitchers can hold the runners close to first base. They give them a chance, Pudge and Greg Zahn will throw them out.
Rangers trying to avoid matching their biggest losing streak of the season, 4 in a row tonight against the Royals, as Kansas City goes for a sweep tonight on Fox Sports Net Southwest. We'll have the lineups and first pitch for you when we come back in a moment. Baseball on Fox Sports Net Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. By Frost Brewed Coors Light, who reminds you the three most important words are, "Hey, beer man." And by Gatorade Thirst Quencher, helping you play longer and stronger when it counts the most. Gatorade, is it in you? It's game number 145 of the 1999 American League season for the Texas Rangers on a beautiful night for baseball here in Kansas City, Missouri. It's the Rangers and Kansas City Royals, and the Southwest Airlines lineup for Texas looks this way as Pudge Rodriguez back in there after a day off yesterday. Luis Alicea leads off at second base. Pudge riding a nine-game hit streak. Rusty is out of the lineup. Tell you more about that in a moment. Rafael Palmeiro hits third. He's the DH. Juan Gonzalez, the cleanup man in right field. Todd Zeal at third base bats fifth, and Roberto Kelly in left field will hit sixth. Bottom third in the order, Lee Stevens at first base, Royce Clayton at shortstop, and Tom Goodwin is the center fielder. He bats ninth for Texas. Kansas City defensively, it's Damon Beltran and Dye left to right in the outfield. Randa and Sanchez the left side of the infield. Holbert and Sweeney on the right side, with Sal Fasano behind the plate once again for the fourth straight game. And Jose Rosado, the lefty, is on the mound for Kansas City.
Jose Rosado, still a young kid, and he's made the All-Star team twice. Made the All-Star team back in '97 and 1999. This is a good young pitcher. He's got a chance to beat you every time he goes out there, making his 30th start. That ERA of 3.81 is fourth in the American League. Opponent's batting average is 249 against him. That's seventh. He's got four complete games, which ties him for fourth. So on any given night, this is one of the better pitchers in the American League. He won his last start. He beat the Yankees 6-3. In that start, he threw 132 pitches. That's a pretty good pitch count. That win against the Yankees broke a 5-game losing streak.
132 pitches, the most he's thrown in a game this year. A three-man crew working this one. Behind the plate, calling balls and strikes is John Shulock. Doug Eddings works at first base, and Travis Katzenmeyer works the third base side as we get set to go on a cool Monday evening here in Kansas City. Temperature is at 74 degrees, wind out of the west at 10. Forecast calls for the temperature to get on down there. That's why Johnny Oates sports the jacket, as does Rudy Jaramillo and others in the Ranger dugout. A clear, cool evening here in Kansas City. It feels like fall in the Midwest. And Rusty Greer is out of the lineup, as we told you a moment ago. Greer out of the lineup after being hit by a ball during batting practice today. Rusty was fielding fly balls out in left field when he ran into the line of fire as Rick Helling and another pitcher were playing catch in the outfield. Rusty took it on the left eye. He has some A lot of swelling in his left eye. He's being checked by an ophthalmologist during the game tonight, and hopefully Rusty will be okay. But it was a scary moment during batting practice about an hour and a half ago as his teammates were gathered around him out in left field. So Greer out of the lineup for the first time since early August when he suffered a sprained ankle against Toronto. He has been a regular, a mainstay in that lineup day in, day out. And hopefully he won't be out for long. Luis Alicea in the lineup against the lefty Rosado. He leads off, hitting from the right side, hitting much better as a right-handed hitter. And the first pitch from Rosado to Alicea is a called strike one. The Alicea numbers very nice in the 12 games he's played here in the last month. 343 the batting average. It's a ball and a strike. Alicea, Rodriguez, and Palmeiro, the revamped lineup for the Rangers tonight. Grounded fair past third down the line. Alicea headed to second, and the Rangers off to a good start as Alicea has a stand-up double.
Now Louis starting to kick it into gear pretty well. He's doing something good every time he's getting us a chance to do it.
A Louisville slugger.
Well,
a Louisville slugger.
Pretty cute. I like that. That's a pretty nice sign.
That is. Well done.
Takes some ingenuity.
Wonder if he's got one for every player in the lineup tonight.
If he does, he's going to spend a lot of time on TV.
Double number 10 on the season for Alicea. He's on at second base as the Rangers try to break through first against the Royals. Here's Rodriguez. Rosado facing a couple of fellow countrymen, the first two batters here. Rosado's from Puerto Rico, and of course Alicea as well as Rodriguez, also from Puerto Rico. Pudge hitting .328 on the season, has the 9-game hit streak right now, and needs 1 RBI for 100 on the year. It'll be his first career 100 RBI season. And there is the base hit, and there is RBI number 100, rounding third and headed home, Alicea. Pudge into second base, and Ivan Rodriguez with his 100th career run batted in. 1-0 Texas.
That's a pretty good start. Back-to-back doubles. Alicea got it going, and Pudge waited on it and really drove it into the gap in right center field. Got a pitch right straight down the middle. That's not a good spot to throw that fastball unless you want to see a line drive hit. Shaky start for Rosado so far. Sometimes a pitcher gets his pitch count up there where he's unaccustomed to being. 132 pitches in his last start for Rosado, and he doesn't bounce back quite as well. Especially young pitchers. Once you get to be 25 or 26, it's a little bit of a different story.
That one goes back to the screen, but quickly bounces back to Fasano, and Pudge unable to move to third.
I don't see that very often. Boy, right by Sal Fasano, and here it comes right back to him.
Like one of those pitchback nets behind home plate. Just bounced right back to him.
Even though Rosado's made a couple of all-star teams, he's still only 24 years old. He made an all-star team when he was 21. 22.
He'll turn 25 in November. It was in '97 he made the all-star team representing the Royals and was the winning pitcher in that game. And he falls behind Palmeiro, 3 balls and no strikes. Palmeiro now 10 points behind Garciaparra and Jeter. Tied for third. These are updated figures tonight in the batting race in the American League. Here's the 3-0 pitch in there for a strike, 3-1. Rodriguez with the 100th RBI of the season now has 103 runs scored and 100 RBIs this season, becoming just the 8th catcher in Major League Baseball history with both 100 runs scored and 100 runs batted in a season. And there's the walk to Palmeiro.
The telltale sign right now on Rosado is no command with his fastball, and his slider breaking ball, which is normally a sharp breaking ball, is very flat. At least that's the way it looks so far to the first 3 hitters. Now's when you want to take advantage of it. Put some runs on the board right off the bat.
.310 the average for Gonzalez. He's up there with runners at first and second. Nobody out here in the first inning. And a swing and a miss. 0-1.
That's Rosado's changeup, which is effective for him to right-hand hitters especially. He throws it right where he threw that one to Juan, much like Jamie Moyer and a lot of other left-handed pitchers who were successful.
The last time Rosado faced the Rangers here in Kansas City, he only lasted 2/3 of an inning. 0-2. This has the makings of the same kind of inning. That was July 21st of last year here in Kansas City. 2/3 of an inning. He had 4 walks, gave up 6 hits, 8 runs, but only 1 of the runs were earned. He's ahead of Gonzalez. No balls and 2 strikes though. Two doubles and a walk to start this game for the Rangers. And Juan lays off that one. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Gonzalez getting his 34th home run of the season in yesterday's game, his 25th on the road. That is a new club record for the Rangers. And it's the 4th most road home runs in the major leagues this year. Jeff Bagwell of the Astros and Sammy Sosa of the Cubs with 28 home runs on the road. Fouled back. Count holds at 1-2.
And at first base because Sweeney knew that.
And this was Juan.
Gonzalez sends this
3rd inning yesterday. Into the right of straightaway center field, no doubt about it. Carlos Delgado, the only American leaguer with more home runs on the road than Gonzalez. He has 27. And a swing and a miss. Rosado comes back and gets Gonzalez for the first out in the first.
All changeups. First 2 were swings and misses. The 3rd one was the same pitch. And let's look at all of them. There's a changeup away, changeup away. He's going to lay off this changeup away. Same pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Threw him a fastball away and then came back with the same changeup. Showed him the fastball in an area where he couldn't do much with it except foul it back. It was outside. And came back to get him with a changeup. Pretty good pitching right there by Rosado.
Here's Zeal, who moves up to the 5th spot in the order with Rusty out of the lineup, and there's a strike. 0-1. So if you're Gonzalez and you're geared up for the fastball, it's tough to hit that changeup.
Especially where he's throwing it. Those balls aren't, they're not strikes. Even if you're looking for a changeup and you get it and it's down there, there's not much you can do with it. It's only 6 inches off the ground and outside. So the key is recognize it and lay off it. That's easy for us to say from up here, not so easy for the hitters all the time.
And it's fouled back. And I guess the key,
having swung at a few of those, I can tell you that it's a lot harder when you're up there to the plate than it is when you're up here in the booth.
And the key for a pitcher is to make that changeup appear like it's a fastball when it leaves his hand.
You want to have good delivery with it. You can't do anything in your delivery that would tip off the hitter by changing your delivery so he can recognize that it's a changeup. That's part of it. And then the location of it is the next part. Keep it down and away so that if he does recognize it, he can't do much with it anyway.
Zeal sends this one high into right center field. Jermaine Dye near the track makes the play. Tagging is Pudge, moving to 3rd. And the Rangers with 2 outs have runners at the corners. So Rosado now an out away from pitching himself out of this jam here in the first inning.
Batting 6, the left fielder, Roberto
And he'll
Kelly.
face Roberto Kelly, who's playing left field. The original lineup tonight for the Rangers before Rusty had to be scratched from the lineup. Had Kelly in center field. Tom Goodwin inserted into the lineup in center field, and Kelly moves to left with Greer's injury. And Roberto has once again had a terrific year handling left-handed pitchers. He's up there in a clutch situation early on here. And Rosado misses away, ball one. Tony Muser has liked what he has seen out of Rosado of late. His last 4 starts, he's gone at least 7 innings in each of those starts. And there's a strike, 1-1. Went 7 innings against the Yankees last week on Tuesday. It was the 132 pitches, so an extra day of rest for Rosado. He's had 5 days between starts, and it's 1-2 to Kelly. He went 7 innings, 1 run, 8 hits, and had 8 strikeouts as the Royals beat the Yankees and split that 2-game series with New York. One and 2 to Kelly. Roberto .367 against lefties this year. But Rosado gets Kelly on a foul tip held onto by Fasano, and the Rangers leave 2 men on. It's 1-0 Texas. The Royals hit when we come back. Bottom of the first inning here in Kansas City. Rangers have a 1-0 lead early, and the Southwest Airlines lineup for the Royals looks this way, with Johnny Damon leading off in left field, followed by Ray Sanchez at shortstop and Carlos Beltran in center field. Jermaine Dye is in right field and has a 100 RBI season. He's the cleanup man. Mike Sweeney at first base bats 5th. Joe Randa hits 6th at third base. In the bottom 3rd in the order, the designated hitter Jeremy Giambi, Sal Fasano the catcher, and Ray Holbert at second base. It's the way Tony Muser hits the Royals tonight. And on defense for Texas, Kelly in left, Goodwin in center, Gonzalez in right, Zeal and Stevens on the corners of the infield, Clayton and Alisea up the middle. It's Pudge behind the plate. It's John Burkett on the mound. Rangers need a good outing out of Burkett tonight.
Well, they've gotten some good outings out of John lately. He beat Cleveland 3-0, pitched into the 7th inning, 2 walks and 7 strikeouts. He's won 3 straight, working on a scoreless streak of 9 2/3. 7-4 since his return to the rotation. First appearance against Kansas City this year.
And the first pitch to Johnny Damon is strike 1. Damon, Sanchez, and Beltran for the Royals in the first. Kansas City looking for its first 4-game sweep since back in early May when they swept 4 from the Twins. It would be their second 4-game sweep of the season. And Johnny Damon in his last 5 games, that includes the first 3 games of this series and the 2 games against New York, hitting .476. He steps it up against those division leaders. Fouls it off, no ball and 2 strikes. Damon's had a very nice season, playing every day. Hasn't missed a game this year. And going back to a lot of last year as well. And Burkett tries to continue a nice trend for him late in the season with the Rangers. He's won his 2 starts in September this year, including the 3-0 win over Cleveland last week. Damon pops it, shallow center. Goodwin comes on, and he makes the play. There's 1 out in the first. Burkett also won a 10-4 game against the White Sox in the opener of the last homestand for the Rangers. So 2-0 this September, and he has won 6 in a row in September. Going back a couple of years. With the Rangers, Burkett is 9-3 in September since being acquired back in 1996. Here's Ray Sanchez. One 1-0 to Sanchez, the Royal shortstop, who just returned to the lineup over the weekend after being out for a couple of weeks with a hamstring injury. Burkett just misses with that one. 2 balls and no strikes. Royals have won 3 in a row. Their season high winning streak, 4 straight games. So they're trying to match that tonight. And the Rangers try to avoid matching their season high losing streak, which is 4 games in a row. 3-0 to Sanchez. And there's a strike. 3-1. I remember back a month ago when the Rangers lost the first 3 games of a series in Chicago at Comiskey Park, going into a Sunday afternoon game that Loaiza pitched, and the Rangers wound up winning 10-0. There's strike 2. Johnny Oates called that one of the most important games of the season because the Rangers were then going into Cleveland for that 4-game series. And the Rangers were able to answer the challenge. And he probably has similar feelings about this one after having lost the first 3 in this series. A check swing by Sanchez, and he did not go around, says the first base umpire, Doug Eddings. It appeared that Sanchez thought he went around at first. I don't know.
He must have done a great job of disguising it because he sure started his swing. And normally when you start your swing like that, it's very difficult to stop. He must have dropped the head of the bat down and kept from going across the plate with it.
I think Sanchez is surprised he got the call.
Well, there's why he should be surprised. He looked like he went.
A befuddled look from Johnny Oates in the Ranger dugout. Carlos Beltran, swing and a miss. 0-1.
That's a good pitch to throw. A guy that likes to go up there and hit the first fastball he sees. Good changeup. Fooled Beltran, who's looking for a fastball.
Sanchez with his lead at first base. And Burkett misses away. It's a ball and a strike to Beltran. It is a 3-man umpiring crew tonight. Joe Brinkman originally was scheduled to work this game. He went back to his home on the coast as a hurricane bearing down on the East Coast. Beltran his last week, 320 the batting average, 6 RBIs his last 7 games.
Now, Bucky Dent was talking about the hurricane and how worried his wife is. They're 15 miles inland in Florida. He's seen a few of those hurricanes, and this one sounds like a bad one.
And Clayton makes the play, and there is the second out. So 2 down in the first with a man on at first base. The Geico direct moment from Johnny Oates. I don't think I've ever seen as many 2-out hits in a series as we've given up this weekend. He was also referring to 2 strike hits given up by the Ranger pitchers during this series. Going back to Friday night's game when Loaiza got the start and was chased in the 2nd inning. Rick Helling on Saturday night, and Aaron Seeley pitched very well for the first 5 innings yesterday afternoon. This one's hit deep to left center field, and Kelly got a glove on it but could not hold on. Sanchez around third, and he will score.
Well, there's another 2-out hit right there. Sanchez was able to run all the way on that. He didn't have to wait to see what would happen because there was 2 outs. And allowed him to score. Dye gave it a good ride into the gap. Roberto had a long way to go and just got the tip of his glove on it but couldn't hold on. And the Royals have neutralized the Rangers' 1 run in the top.
There was a very long run for Roberto Kelly. It's all he could do to just get a glove on it, and unable to haul it in. Jermaine Dye now with 37 doubles, and he now has 102 runs batted in. The Royals have tied it at 1 with a 2-out RBI double from Dye. Here's Mike Sweeney. Rangers Had a couple of doubles in the first inning producing their run. Now a double by Dye evens the game at 1. Man in scoring position here for Sweeney, and there's a strike. It's a ball and a strike to Sweeney. Well, you have an opportunity to talk to Mike Sweeney before the game. He's one of the young promising players for Kansas City.
Yeah, he's got a great way about him. He was very bright, optimistic, good answers to the questions, and the thing you like the best. The interview was at 4 o'clock, and at 4 o'clock he walked out all by himself and showed up for it.
Well, this was the home run yesterday that got the Royals on the board against Aaron Seeley.
He really was fun to talk to. He's a nice young kid and a good solid hitter too.
Slowly hit to short. Clayton makes the play on to Stevens for the out, but the Royals have evened this game at 1. We're through 1 here in Kansas City. Here are the winning numbers for the Domino's Watch, Eat, and Win. We have not received a winning number yet, so please check your numbers carefully. The grand prize number 121370. First place sweepstakes 010656. Send winning numbers via registered mail to Watch, Eat, and Win winning numbers. Fox Sports Net Southwest, 100 East Royal Lane, Suite 200, Irving, Texas 75039. Jose Rosado was able to get out of trouble in the first inning. 1 run scored on consecutive doubles by the leadoff hitters, Alicea and Rodriguez. And Rangers had 2 men on with nobody out, but he got Gonzalez and Kelly on strikeouts, and Zeal on a fly to right field sandwiched in between to get out of the inning without any further damage. Now it's the bottom third in the order for Texas. Stevens, Clayton, and Goodwin. Stevens at 284 with the average coming into this one, and he fouls it off on the right side. Stevens, of course, back home in the Kansas City area, grew up in Lawrence, Kansas, but has not had a lot of success playing here at Kauffman Stadium. 1 for 11 in this series. But he smoked one in batting practice today, Tom.
He did, all the way over the seats and into the concession stand. That's a long way to right field.
And it's a ball and 2 strikes to Stevens.
People in the concession stand probably didn't know where the ball came from.
It's one of those line drives?
Yes, it wasn't a fly ball either. It was a line shot. There's the seats and there's the concession stand.
You can go right up there and get you a soft drink at that concession stand without any problem here. No lines. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Stevens. And some have taken us up on the offer. Stevens, the strikeout victim, the 3rd strikeout for Rosado in the last 4 hitters he has faced.
Rosado didn't have much to the first 3 hitters, double and a walk, but since then he's found it pretty good. Had good location with his breaking ball and a better fastball. Threw the fastball by Roberto Kelly. Got 1 on a bunch of changeups. He's using all his pitches.
Now here's Clayton. Averages at 277 for Royce. He's matched his career high with 9 home runs. Takes a ball from Rosado, 1-0. Clayton hitting in the 8th spot in the order for the Rangers tonight. Well, the A's have jumped all over Tampa Bay early. A 5-run 3rd inning, and now an 8-2 lead for Oakland over Tampa Bay. Batting average leaders in the American League in September. Davy Cruz of the Tigers is on fire. He had 3 hits yesterday. Of course, what jump-started his September was that Thursday afternoon game against the Rangers. And Clayton is up there. He's raised the average a lot. Since that Detroit series for Royce, that Thursday afternoon jump-started Clayton as well. He had a home run that afternoon. 2-2. The A's have homers from Velarde, a 2-run shot, and Jason Giambi has hit another one, number 31 for him.
And Olmedo Saenz just hit one.
They are clouding home run after home run. Clayton to left. Johnny Damon fooled a little bit on that one. He's able to make the shoestring grab. And there are 2 outs in the second.
It looked like Johnny Damon was going to make an easy catch, but then he realized he'd misjudged it. Had to come in and make the shoestring catch. That's a big old glove he's using.
Good one, bounces to short. High hop. Sanchez able to get it and make the play to get the speedy Goodwin at first base. And Rosado has settled down. He's retired 6 straight. Kansas City. Let's take a look at the upcoming TV games from Coors Light. We move on to Minnesota after this one tomorrow night at 7 on KXTX 39. An afternoon affair on Wednesday right here on Fox Sports Net Southwest at noon. A day off Thursday. Then the Tampa Bay Devil Rays come to town this weekend. The Friday and Saturday games, 7 o'clock start times on KXTX 39. Sunday afternoon here on Fox Sports Net Southwest at 2. It's Joe Randa starting it off for Kansas City against John Burkett here in the second. A 1-1 game. Ground ball right side. Alicea covers some ground. Nice play by Luis at second base. Had to go on the outfield grass, and there's 1 out.
There's a good look at exactly how far Luis did have to go to make that play. Did the 360, turned and fired a strike to Big Lee at first base. Nice play.
Here's Jeremy Giambi. Giambi hitting up near 300. It's fouled off. 1 ball and 1 strike. Giambi getting an opportunity to play on a regular basis here in September. Burkett ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Last year he won the Pacific Coast League batting title with a .372 batting average at Omaha in 96 games played. And it was a .469 on base percentage to lead all minor leaguers last year. Giambi to right field. Gonzalez makes the play, and there are 2 outs in the second. Well, it's college football Saturday coming up this coming weekend, and a full slate of games once again here on Fox Sports Net Southwest, starting with Boston College and Navy, Wisconsin and Cincinnati, Air Force and Washington. Stanford takes on Arizona. It starts Saturday morning at 11 on Fox Sports Net Southwest. Well, here's Sal Fasano. Fasano with 7 RBIs in the series against the Rangers, playing in just his 10th game of the season at the big league level. And the Royals are 6-1 when he starts behind the plate. So Tony Muser rides the hot hand. It's currently a 5-game hit streak for Fasano, and in this series he is 4 for 11. The 1-1 from Burkett. Grounded through the left side. He's now 5 for 12 in the series. It's a 2-out single for Sal Fasano.
You just never know in this game. If you just keep playing hard and, as the cliche goes, take it day to day, a lot of times good things will happen for you. Fasano spent a lot of time in the minor leagues. The other catchers really weren't hitting much. He got a chance to play when he got called up. Who knows? He might be playing right now for a job next season. It's looking pretty good so far. Looks like he receives the ball well. He's swinging the bat pretty well.
Here's Ray Holbert. And Fasano got a lot of playing time with Kansas City last year. In fact, he split the catching duties for the most part with Mike Sweeney last year. Played in a career high 74 games at the big league level. But this season spent at Omaha before getting the call up in September. Ray Holbert is getting the start at second base. Played a lot at shortstop when Ray Sanchez was on the shelf with the hamstring injury. And now Holbert gets a chance at second base, as the Royals have a couple of injuries at second base. Carlos Fabulous has been out more than 2 weeks now with a dislocated finger on his hand, and Mendy Lopez, you recall in yesterday afternoon's game, well, he suffered a fractured ulna bone, left forearm, and he's out for the season. He'll have surgery tomorrow. It was when he was hit by the pitch from Aaron Seeley in yesterday's game. Lopez out for the year. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Holbert. This was Lopez in yesterday's game, and in obvious pain. Was taken to the hospital and found out that it is a fractured bone in the left forearm. Two balls, 2 strikes to Holbert. And it's grounded foul on the right side. The Royals with a lot of extra players here in September. They've called up a lot of guys. In fact, Jed Hansen has been called back up the day after he got sent down.
Saw him here today. Couldn't figure out what he was doing here. Then I realized about the injury yesterday. That's when you really know it's a strange game.
Kelly coming on, and Roberto makes the play. A sliding catch in left field to get Ray Holbert to end the second inning. Royals leave a man on. We're through 2 and tied at 1. Well, through 2 innings here at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. It's a 1-1 game, and it was Roberto Kelly coming on in left field, handling the little looper off the bat of Ray Holbert. Makes the sliding catch.
Well, he almost slid too soon. He really didn't have to slide for that ball. That ball would have been above his knees if he came in and reached down for it. But he slid and had to reach up for it. He almost slid right underneath it.
We've seen in this series night games here at Kauffman Stadium, the left fielders have some difficulties if a ball gets up there in the lights. Rusty had some problems with one the other night, as did Johnny Damon. Rangers return home this coming Friday. Rangers will face the Baltimore Orioles as part of the 12-game homestand to close out the home portion of the regular season. Next Tuesday and Wednesday they face the Orioles. Tuesday, Decker Foods $1 hot dog night. It's also Tom Thumb Tuesday. Show your Tom Thumb reward card at the Rangers ticket office to purchase half-price tickets. Call 817-273-5100 for tickets. Luis Alicea, first ball swinging, is the first out of the 3rd inning. And that'll bring up Rodriguez.
The catcher.
Pudge with the RBI double in the first for RBI number 100. That is a magic mark for Rodriguez to get to in his pursuit of some postseason honors.
When you look at this game, Bill, you were talking about 100 runs and 100 RBIs. There's 7 players in this game that have a chance to do that. The Rangers already have 2, Pudge and Juan. Raffy needs 12 runs. Rusty needs 5 RBIs, and they'll have 4 players with 100 runs and 100 RBIs. Kansas City's got 3 guys with a decent chance too. Beltran and Sweeney are almost there. Jermaine Dye has got the 100 RBIs and needs 16 runs. There's a lot of players. That's just 2 teams that have 7 players. The rest of the league has a bunch more too.
It's the changing times of baseball.
A lot of runs.
Standards have to be raised, I guess.
A lot of runs being scored.
Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Well, if there's anyone in the league that can hit that pitch, it's Pudge. Fastball about chin high.
And Pudge needs 2 more home runs to tie the American League record for home runs by a catcher, Terry Steinbach, back in the '96 season. Well, the Rangers are on pace to have a record-setting year as far as home runs and runs scored. The Royals are on pace to have a record-setting year for runs scored as well. They've averaged 5.5 runs a game. They're on a pace to have 869 runs. Their record is 851, set 20 years ago in 1979. In fact, right now, the Royals have scored 762 runs. That's the most they've had in any season since 1982. That's for a complete season. And in fact, the thing about it is, with Kansas City, you look at their batting order tonight, and they've got the top 7 guys all hitting 288 or higher.
Former Ranger Lamar Johnson, who's their hitting coach, must be doing a great job with these young hitters.
That's a fair ball. Long throw by Randa, and Rodriguez is the second out.
Lamar's got a great disposition. He's a very easygoing guy. Was a pretty good solid hitter in his own right. I believe he still lives back in the Metroplex area. Easy catch, but a long throw.
Apparently he makes his offseason home in Arlington.
It's Carlos Fabulous, I believe, right there with him.
Here's Rafi. And there's a strike, 0-1. Palmeiro walked his first time. In fact, Lamar Johnson closed out his playing career as a Ranger in 1982. Well, this was Gonzalez in yesterday's game with a home run, and Rafael Palmeiro also had a home run in yesterday's game. Gonzalez hopes to get a chance for another 2-run homer if Palmeiro can get on here. A sweeping curveball in there for a strike. 2-2. Fouled off by Palmeiro. Rafi behind Ken Griffey Jr. in the home run race in the American League. 1 behind with a home run yesterday. Carlos Delgado is tied with him at 43. Rosado has given up 21 home runs this year in over 180 innings pitched. Little pop, foul ground, third base side, reaching over the railing is Randa, unable to get to that one. And this was Palmeiro in yesterday's game. Right field down the line. And that matched his career high with number 43. Manny Ramirez, the Indians, is at 39. Ramirez is in pursuit. Not only in the RBI race he leads, but in the home run race he's not far behind now. Rosado gets his 4th strikeout in the first 3 innings, and it's a 1-1 game. In Kansas City, just a beautiful night for baseball. We've had beautiful weather throughout this series. It's fall classic type weather. But it hasn't been classic Ranger baseball through the first 3 games of this series. Rangers try to correct that tonight here against Kansas City. Facing Johnny Damon here is John Burkett. Gets ahead of him, no balls and 1 strike. Top of the order for Kansas City. This is upstairs. It's 1-1. Ranger lead over the A's is down to 5.5 games as the night begins. And Oakland with an 8-3 lead on Tampa Bay in the 5th inning. Kevin Apier on the mound for Oakland in that one. A little half swing by Damon. And it's 1-2.
Good off-speed pitch, another good changeup. Anytime you have good young hitters like this, chances are they're pretty good fastball hitters. And you have to keep them honest with the off-speed pitches. You can't let them go up there, look for a fastball, and get it all the time.
Alicea again covering some ground to his left, makes the play. And there's one out in the third. We talked about Luis at the plate and how he has fared in the second half of the season over the last month, hitting over 300. He's also doing a fine job in the field at second base. In fact, just one error in his last 40 games played.
Haven't been a lot of errors out there at second base.
No, there hasn't.
Has
Not
there?
with Mac either. McLemore in his last, he went 46 consecutive games for making an error at second base, 51 games overall. That includes his time in the outfield since about the 1st of July. In fact, that right side of the infield over the last couple of months. Stevens made an error yesterday. That was his first error in a long time. On the corner for a strike to Sanchez. No balls and 2 strikes. Rangers did make 3 errors in yesterday's game. That's the most errors they made in a game since back on July 6th. The game against the A's. 7th time this year the Rangers have had 3 or more errors in a game. And not coincidentally, perhaps, the Rangers are 0-7 in those games. They've also been outscored by a ton in those games when they've had 3 errors or more. Shallow right, Alicea back on that one, makes the play. Sanchez is the second out in the 3rd inning. Well, Texas Rangers Division Series playoff tickets are now on sale. Tickets are available at the first base ticket office, on the website at www.texasrangers.com, or by phone. Call 817-273-5100. It's the Rangers Divisional Playoff tickets now on sale. They went on sale starting on Saturday morning. There's still tickets available. Rangers could host 3 games in the first round of the playoffs. They would host 3 games if they have home field advantage in the playoffs. Up the middle, Alicea can't get to that one, and Beltran has the base hit.
Here's a point in time, we talked about it before the game started in the open, where Kansas City has been aggressive on the bases. Beltran is a pretty good base stealer. He's got good speed. 2 outs, trying to get a guy into scoring position right here might be a chance for him to run. The other side is you've got the 4th place hitter Jermaine Dye up, and Tony Muser might want to let him hit with a man on first base. But it's up to John Burkett to hold the runner close and give Pudge a chance to throw him out. Can't take that high leg kick and take a long time.
Dye drove home the first run of the game for the Royals, the only run so far. 0-1. Beltran at first base with 23 stolen bases in 30 attempts. It's low for a ball, 1-1. Dye was out of the lineup yesterday. He did come on as a defensive replacement late in the game. Defensively, he's got a great arm, and he has really blossomed this year as an offensive player, hitting up near 300 with those 102 RBIs now. Beltran not going. And it's 2-1 to Dye. Royals got the run in the first inning after Burkett issued a walk to Ray Sanchez. And the walk scored on the double by Dye. Royals have had 1 base runner in each of the first 3 innings. Check on Beltran at first. One thing that Burkett was able to do in his last start against the Indians was retire the first 2 batters in an inning. First 5 innings, he got the first 2 batters before the Indians were able to get a base runner, and he's done that again the last couple of innings here against the Royals. Makes a world of difference when you've got 2 outs and get a man on base. More difficult to put together a big inning. Two balls, two strikes. And it's fouled back. Burkett, over his last 5 starts, is 4-1, and his earned run average is just over 4. The only game that he had some trouble in those last 5 starts was against the Yankees. It was the game that he got chased in the 3rd inning, giving up 8 runs. You take that one out, and the ERA is way down over his last 5 starts. Rangers a game behind the Yankees in the race for home field in the playoffs. 4 behind the Indians. The Yankees are in Toronto tonight and trailing the Blue Jays 2-0 right now. Popped up behind the plate. Pudge with the mask off. Makes the play, and that'll do it for the Royals in the 3rd inning. We're through 3. We're tied at 1. Well, it's time for the Aflac trivia question. George Brett finished 3rd in the American League Rookie of the Year balloting in 1974. Who did he finish behind? Aflac, insuring over 40 million people worldwide.
Leading off the Rangers forward, the right fielder, Juan Gonzalez.
Tom knows the answer.
Yes, I do, but I'm not telling. You're going to have to find out for yourself.
Put on your thinking caps.
If I know it, I guarantee a lot of other people know it too.
Rosado faces Gonzalez and fouls it off. 0-1. Gonzalez, Zeal, and Kelly for the Rangers here in the 4th inning.
KC putting that Gonzalez shift on the left side.
Down the line, it is fair. Into the corner, and Gonzalez into second base. He's got a leadoff double here in the 4th. It snaps a string of 9 consecutive hitters retired by Rosado.
No shift is going to stop that one from being a double down the line, though. They probably could have corralled any ground ball to the left side.
It would be an extreme shift to be able to get to this one.
If you've got someone playing right there, you deserve to catch it.
The Rangers have 3 doubles against Rosado. And to try to take advantage of the man in scoring position here. Here is Zeal. Rosado misses with the first one, 1-0. Zeal is 0 for 1. He flied to right in the 1st inning. And 2 balls and no strikes. That Yankee game in Toronto tonight, terrific pitchers duel. The Yankees have El Duque on the mound, and David Wells is going for the Blue Jays, and Toronto leads at 2-0 in the 7th inning. The Yankees have managed just 1 hit off Wells so far. The Yankees, of course, were 1 hit on Friday night by Pedro Martinez. Martinez struck out 17. Paul O'Neill of the Yankees apparently made the comment after that game that the Red Sox didn't beat us. Pedro Martinez beat us tonight. It was bulletin board material for the Red Sox the rest of the weekend, and the Red Sox went on. And
Pedro didn't beat him the next 2 nights.
That's right. He had no part the next 2.
He may have set the tone, though.
Well, there were some extracurriculars in yesterday's game, the Yankees against the Red Sox. It was the first time that Boston has defeated Roger Clemens. Clemens using a few intimidation tactics in yesterday's game against the Red Sox, and Brett Saberhagen retaliated. 3-2 to Zeal. Red Sox didn't back down against the Yankees. Three balls, 2 strikes to Zeal. To right center field, pretty deep. Beltran makes the play. Boy, he's a smooth fielder out in center field. Gonzalez tags and moves to third, and the Rangers have a man 90 feet away with 1 out in the 4th.
Ever since he said in our interview after the game yesterday that his favorite player was Bernie Williams, and you watch him, he does a lot of things just like Bernie Williams. He glides after the ball smoothly like Bernie Williams. He throws. His arm action is a lot like Bernie Williams. He's a switch hitter. He's probably better at a younger age, though, than Bernie Williams was. Certainly more power at a younger age, a better base stealer. And that doesn't guarantee what he's going to be 7 or 8 years from now. But at this stage of the game, he's ahead of where Bernie Williams was at the same time. Whoa, boy.
Off of John Shulock, the home plate umpire.
That'll wake you up.
That's Smarts.
John's a tough guy, boy. Man, that got him square. Even though the mask is there with padding around it, it's still like getting punched in the head.
As a courtesy, Sal Fasano goes out to the mound to talk to Rosado to give Shulock a little bit of time to get over that. It's like a right cross to the jaw.
Boy.
Royals bring the infield in here with Kelly at the plate. 1 out, trying to cut off potential go-ahead run at the plate as Gonzalez is at third with less than 2 outs. And Roberto to left field. Damon makes the play. Gonzalez tags. The throw to the plate is not in time, and the Rangers have the lead. Kelly gets the runner home from third. The sacrifice fly. RBI number 31 for Roberto. It's 2-1 Texas.
That's what you want to do in a close game. Move the runner and get him in with a fly ball. Oh, we got an update on Rusty Greer's condition. You got it there?
Yes,
written
got it
down,
right here.
All the details.
And Rusty, of course, was hit by a thrown ball during batting practice. He was checked by an ophthalmologist here in Kansas City and reports no damage to the retina or optic nerve. That's good news on Rusty. He's prescribed ice and medication. A lot of swelling for Rusty. His left eye. He has been sent home to Texas, and the Rangers hope that he can get back to action this weekend.
Said his vision will improve as the swelling goes down.
Ball and a strike to Stevens. Well, that is a scary thing. And during batting practice today, swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Rusty was in left field, fielding fly balls hit by Ed Napoleon. Pitchers were throwing in the outfield as well and chasing after a fly ball. Rusty went into the line of fire. Into the gap in right center field. Stevens heads to second. And Big Lee Stevens has the 4th double of the game for the Rangers.
You can get a left-hand hitter out who struggles against left-handed pitchers with that slider. That's just kind of a throw a slider up there to get a strike. But to a good left-hand hitter against left-hand pitching, he's lucky Lee didn't hit this ball out of the ballpark. That's a belt-high hanging slider. He had a good swing at it and hit a rope into right center field for a double. If he got it up in the air, it would have been a home run. That is definitely not where Rosado wants to throw Lee Stevens or Palmeiro or any of those good, strong left-hand hitters.
Stevens coming into this game hitting .326 against left-handed hitters this season. Stevens is at second base here. Conference at the mound as Mark Wiley, the pitching coach, is out to talk to Rosado. Rangers had a couple of doubles in the first inning and a couple of doubles here in the 4th inning. Now Royce Clayton tries to deliver the man home with 2 outs here in the 4th. you go. He's got one for Alicea, and he's got one for Royce, too.
Well, he put a lot of time into those signs.
No kidding. He has good camera presence about him as well. Here's Royce. See if he can stay on a roll. Clayton hit a little sinking liner to left field his first time. And it's 2 balls and no strikes to Clayton. With some success against the Royals the last couple of years. Royce was with the Cardinals earlier last year before coming over in the trade to Texas right before the deadline last year. 2-1. In yesterday afternoon's game, Clayton was injured in the slide into second base by one of the Royal players who was able to stay in the game. And it looked for a little bit that Clayton might have to come out of the game. He was in some obvious pain at second base. Good hitters count here. 3 balls and 1 strike with a man at second and 2 outs here in the 4th. The 3-1 pitch is hit a mile high, but it's a pop to shallow center field. And Beltran makes the play. Rangers take the lead against Jose Rosado and the Royals, though. It's 2-1 Texas. Join us tonight here on Fox Sports Net Southwest. It's the Rangers and Royals at Kauffman Stadium here in Kansas City, and Texas has taken a 2-1 lead on the Royals. Rangers led early in yesterday's game. In fact, it was a 3-0 lead for Texas after 5 innings. But the Royals were able to come from 3 runs down to win by 3. John Burkett works with a lead here. Sweeney, Randa, and Giambi for Kansas City in the 4th. Sweeney grounded to short his first time.
The thing you like about Sweeney is the fact that he doesn't strike out very much. Takes a very short stride, so he's always got his head right on the ball. He doesn't overstride. And you look at his stats on the season, 44 walks and only 40 strikeouts. He doesn't have a great number of walks. Got a decent number of walks, but a very low strikeout total for a guy that's batting in the middle of the lineup. And a young hitter. He's only 25 or 26 years old. Good line drive hitter.
And has provided some power this year with 21 home runs. 8 home runs a year ago in 92 games for the Royals. To ball and a strike. Did you ask him before the game about his acting debut?
No, I did not ask him about that.
Saturday Night Live?
I wasn't aware of it.
Apparently appeared in a Saturday Night Live skit with Helen Hunt.
I bet you he'd be good at it. He's got a great personality, very outgoing. Look at that catch by Pudge. That ball bounced 5 feet in front of him, 2 feet outside, and he just reached out and snatched it. Watch this. No big deal. There's no base runners or anything. And then just reaches up and gives it to the umpire. He does it so nonchalantly and casually that it almost makes it look like it's not that hard to do that. But I'll guarantee you it's hard to do that. You don't see any other catchers do that.
And there is ball 4 to Sweeney. Leadoff man is on. Second walk issued by Burkett tonight. Well, we asked the Aflac trivia question earlier. George Brett finished third in the American League Rookie of the Year balloting in 1974. Who did he finish behind? And Tom Grieve has the answer.
That would be Jeff Burroughs, wouldn't it?
No. That would be Mike Hargrove.
Oh.
And Bucky Dent.
What was it for Rookie of the Year?
Rookie of the Year.
Oh,
You're thinking MVP.
I was thinking MVP.
Oh,
Sorry.
You thought you were so smart.
Every time I do that, I'm wrong. What was the one earlier in the year? It was Frank. It was something to do with Frank Thomas. I was just positive that was Frank Thomas, and he wasn't even in the ballpark.
Once again, the criteria there that we've discovered on these trivia questions is the answer. The answer is usually in the ballpark.
I'll probably get that by next year.
Now, if we were playing the Indians, that trivia question could have been used too. Although it would have been a little more difficult at Jacobs Field or at the ballpark to find a picture of George Brett to use behind that question. Ball and 2 strikes to Randa. What a great year that was in 1974. It was the first time the Rangers really challenged in September. They finished 5 games back of the A's. But Burroughs won the MVP. Mike Hargrove, the Rookie of the Year. And Jim Sundberg.
That was the year Jeff was the MVP, though,
Yes,
right?
it was.
Okay, good.
And his numbers that year?
At least in my own mind, I was right. Let's see. I think he hit 301.
Yeah.
He had like 114 RBIs.
118, I believe.
118 and 30-something home
30 home runs. There's sort of the changing times there. 30 homers, 118 RBIs, the MVP.
Right. Although if he was playing in a different ballpark, that would have been 40 home runs and 130 RBIs, because he lost a lot of home runs in that old ballpark.
Grounded left side, Zeal to Alicea on to first. Ball gets through. And there is a railing in front of the photographer's well over there between the dugout and the suite area for the fans. And so the ball stays in play.
That was a nice play by Todd Zeal. It wasn't a hard hit ball, but it took a bad hop.
So there is 1 out in the 4th, a man on. And here's another Aflac trivia question. What years did Tom Grieve play for the Texas Rangers? Now maybe you can get that one, Tom.
I'm not telling, so there. I might be wrong on that. I'm not taking any more chances tonight.
He's thumbing through the media guide right now to check on it.
I've been humiliated for the last time tonight. Unless someone asks me another trivia question.
It was through the 77 season, wasn't it?
Yes.
72 to 77.
You got it.
Traded away after the 77 season, was it?
Right. Last day of the trading deadline. We used to have a trading deadline at the winter meetings. It was like the last day of the winter meetings that you could make a trade, and the winter meetings were in Hawaii that year. And I was watching the news with my wife, the late news.
That's how you found out?
I'm thinking, I wonder if I'm going to get traded. No, there's no way I can get traded, because they would have at least called to tell me.
Down the line, foul.
And then the news comes on, and right as they lead into the news, the tease was Rangers make big trade. And I go, oh boy, I can't wait to see who got traded. It can't be me. And right about that time, the phone rang, and it was Ethel LaRue, who was Danny O'Brien's secretary, and she was calling to tell me that I was traded. So I found out from Danny's secretary, and she was crying. She said, I'm so sorry that I'm the one that has to tell you this. You've been traded to the Pirates. And so I sat back and watched the news, and it said I was traded to the Mets. So when the news was over, I didn't know what team I had been traded to. And it wasn't until the next day that I ever talked to anybody.
And as it turned out, the news was right.
The news was right, and Ethel was wrong. The thing that she was confused on was it was like a
3-team deal.
Yeah, there was a ton of players and several different teams, and the Pirates was one of the teams that was involved in a multi-team, multi-player trade.
2 balls, 1 strike to Giambi. Runner goes, flag down by Burkett. No chance to get the runner at second. So John takes it to first to get Giambi for the second out. Randa moves to second. Well, this week on Baseball Thursday, what a matchup this is. It's at 6 o'clock. It's Derek Jeter and the Yankees taking on the Cleveland Indians. It's right here on Fox Sports Net Southwest. That will be a 4-game series starting on Thursday at Jacobs Field. The Yankees and the Indians. And the significance there for the Rangers is that, you know, that the Indians or the Yankees, one of them, are going to have a couple of losses at least during that series. Rangers have a chance to gain some ground on the front runners, perhaps. Oh, 1 to Fasano, and it's fouled off right side. And Burkett gets ahead of the Royals catcher. No balls and 2 strikes. Royals have the tying run at second base as we play here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Fasano now 5 for 12 in the series. Randa, the runner, at second. And it was a leadoff walk, put a man on for the Royals here in the 4th. And Burkett and Rodriguez will talk things over. A's are leading Tampa Bay now in the 7th inning. 8-3 is the score. Cleveland, by the way, is hosting Boston. And the Indians had an 8-1 lead early in that one. The Red Sox have awakened. And a little hangover after sweeping a 3-game series in New York, and they now have scored 4 runs to make it close, 8-5 in Cleveland. Richie Sexson had a 3-run homer off Tim Wakefield, his 30th of the year for Cleveland. The 0-2 just misses away. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Kenny Lofton is back in the lineup for the Indians. 3 for 3, 3 RBIs, including a home run tonight. Burkett with the 1-2 pitch to Fasano. Fasano lays off it. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. David Wells now has his 1-hitter into the 8th inning against the Yankees. Swing and a miss by Fasano. Burkett gets him for the 3rd out in the 4th inning. Royals leave a man in scoring position, and the Rangers lead it 2-1 through 4 innings. Well, here is tonight's FlashNet fan question. Comes tonight from John Williams. If a batter swings and misses on the 3rd strike and the catcher cannot handle the pitch, why can the batter run to first? If he makes it, why is the pitcher given a strikeout and an out not recorded?
Well, that's just the rule. If there's less than 2 outs and someone is on first base, then the batter can't run to first base because first base is occupied. So with less than 2 outs, if there's not a runner on first base and the catcher does not catch strike 3, he could have missed it and it's a pass ball. He could have missed it because it's a wild pitch. The batter can run. That's just a rule. Now, if there's 2 outs, even if there's a man on first base, now the batter can run with 2 outs. The catcher would have to throw it to first base. And I don't know the explanation other than that is a rule in the rule book. That's just the rules that they have in baseball.
Good one. Saws one off there, and it falls into right center field. Goodwin has hit some line drives that have resulted in outs of late. This time he gets a little bloop into right center.
The second baseman, Luis Arcega.
He's left with a toothpick in his hand. Bat went past first base, and the ball, fortunately, went right over second base for a base hit. See if Tom's running right here. Alisea handles the bat well. You might see a stolen base. attempt. You might see a hit and run. Might see a bunt.
There it is, the bunt. Randa goes to first. Alicea limping a bit. He's coming out of the batter's box.
Well, he did something. He's really limping.
Ray Ramirez comes out to check on him. As Goodwin moves to second base. It is a sacrifice credited to Alicea.
He twisted his ankle, got a cramp. Definitely not going to be able to continue in the game, it wouldn't look like.
Of course, Mark McLemore is available, can play tonight. Although McLemore was spiked. Fasano slid into second base in yesterday's game. McLemore was out of the lineup with the lefty on the mound. Let's take a look at Alicea as he executes the sacrifice.
It didn't look like he twisted it. I hope that's not his Achilles tendon. It did not look like he twisted his ankle like he would with a sprained ankle.
Well, here is Pudge with a man in scoring position. 2-1. Texas tries to add to a one-run lead. Let's take another look from the side, Alicea.
I don't see anything.
Hard to tell.
And usually if it was a cramp, you would kind of sit down and the trainer would come out and rub the cramp out. So it wouldn't appear to be a cramp. The only thing I can think of is an Achilles tendon injury.
Ankle locked up on him, maybe. Center field. This ball is hit deep. Beltran back to the wall, looking up, and that ball is out of here. Pudge Rodriguez to straightaway center field. He has a 3 RBI game. Home run number 33 for Pudge. It's 4-1 Texas.
Rosado has tossed up a couple of good fastballs for Pudge to hit, and boy has he hit them. Drilled a double the first time up into the gap in right center field. That pitch is supposed to be away. You can see Fasano's glove. Watch it come back toward Pudge to catch the ball about a foot. He missed that target on the outside corner by about a foot, and there's the result. Home run, dead center field.
So Rodriguez is now 1 home run away from tying the American League record all time for homers by a catcher in a season. 34. Palmeiro hitting in the 3rd spot in the order with Rusty out of the lineup tonight, and Rusty will miss the series in Minnesota as well. Rosado falls behind Rafi here. 3 balls and no strikes. Palmeiro walked in the 1st inning. He struck out in the 3rd. In there for a strike, 3-1. We want to thank John Williams for the FlashNet fan question tonight. And Ranger fans, you can email your questions or comments to FlashNet's website at www.flash.net. This one is lifted to left center field. Over is Damon, right in front of the track. Palmeiro gave it a good ride, but there are 2 outs in the 5th.
The right fielder, Juan Gonzalez.
Going to take a look at Juan Gonzalez the first time up. Good changeup down and away. Saw 3 changeups that time and missed all 3 of them. And here's the next time up. And that time it's a slider on the outside corner, a little bit higher and a little bit closer to the plate, and that time he was able to get the bat on it. The difference between the 2 pitches is the slider's coming toward him slightly and the curveball is going away from him slightly, and he was able to catch the bat on the ball to the slider, even though both pitches were on the outside part of the plate. One was a ball and one was almost a strike.
One ball, 1 strike. And the Royals with the Gonzalez shift on here once again with 3 infielders on the left side. We don't see that all that much. Defensive alignments with Gonzalez up. Obviously, the Rosado strategy tonight is to throw off-speed pitches to Gonzalez. We've seen a lot of changeups. Could that be one of the reasons they've got 3 on the left side?
Sure. They know they're going to throw him off-speed pitches. They're pretty sure he's going to pull the ball. There's another changeup.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Rangers with a 3-run lead here in the 5th inning. Second time they've had a lead in this series. They also led by 3 through 5 innings yesterday.
That's all he's throwing, Juan, right now is changeups. He made connection with that one, though. At least he fouled it off the end of the bat.
With 2 outs, the 2-2 pitch. And there is a base hit in the left center field. Juan has his second hit off Rosado.
That's just a case of Rosado saying to himself, well, I've thrown him so many changeups. Sooner or later he's going to guess right with it. And it's not that he wasn't guessing right. He knew changeups were coming. He was just still out in front of him. Now he tries to sneak a fastball by him. Throws a fastball belt high, and the result is a rope to left field. Juan is up there. He is geared up to hit the fastball. And what you have to do if you're the pitcher is you have to keep throwing that pitch until he shows you that he can make an adjustment and hit it. That's just a careless mistake by Rosado or Fasano, whoever called the pitch. It's like a football team running the ball 5 yards every time they run the ball.
Make them stop you.
And all of a sudden say, well, I guess they're looking for the run this time, and then having a pass and have it intercepted. Keep doing it until they show you that they can stop it.
This is popped up. Second baseman Holbert on the outfield grass makes the play. And that'll do it for the Rangers in the 5th, but they score 2. Pudge with a 2-run homer. We're at the halfway point, and the Rangers lead it by 3. 2 games in Minnesota tomorrow and Wednesday afternoon, and then the final 3 games of the regular season will be in Anaheim. Friday through Sunday, October 1st through the 3rd. Next time you're on the road for business or pleasure, make it La Quinta Inns. Dial 1-800-NEW-ROOMS. NU Rooms for reservations. It's Ray Holbert leading it off for Kansas City. Here in the 5th inning against John Burkett, who now works with a 3-run lead. Rangers have out-hit the Royals 7-3. Holbert flied to left field his first time. Well, the road games are getting down to a precious few. After tonight, just 5 road games left, and the Rangers will have 12 home games, so 17 games in all. Down the line in left, long run for Roberto Kelly. It's in the corner, and it's to the base of the wall. And Ray Holbert is into second base with a double. The 9th place hitter for the Royals is in scoring position.
Hey, the Royals are playing the Rangers tough. The Rangers get a little bit of a lead, and the Royals come right back. Holbert getting a chance to impress the coaches and the manager, getting some playing time. There's a pitch, one of the few pitches that John has left right up out over the plate. Good pitch to hit. Holbert almost takes it out of the ballpark.
And Mark McLemore is in the game for Luis Alicea at second base, hitting in the top spot in the batting order. In the top of the order for the Royals here, Johnny Damon. Damon 0 for 2 tonight. 5 for 13 in the series coming in tonight, so he's now 5 for 15. Rip to Stevens, and no chance to double up the runner at second base.
Well, that's a good break for the Rangers. Johnny Damon hit a rope. Lee was playing in just in case Damon bunted. With a man at second base and no outs, Damon went down and got a breaking ball and hit a bullet. Lee Stevens was there to snare it. Damon is not one of those hitters that you would say has a picture-perfect swing. He's more of a slasher. But he's got a quick bat, and he gets the good part of the bat on the ball a lot. 300 hitter.
A lot of extra base hits, 38 doubles for Johnny Damon.
Yeah, he's always going to have a lot of doubles and triples because he can run. He can take that extra base.
Pudge throws to third. And in there is Holbert.
Holbert almost hesitated himself into an out at third base. He took a step and stopped. Pudge's throw was a little bit high, and he slid in there.
And Rodriguez couldn't find it. The ball was at his feet at the plate.
If the throw is right on the bag, he might have had a chance for him.
Ball in the dirt. It is a wild pitch.
Watch, Holbert's going to hesitate right there just enough to give Pudge a shot.
So the Royals with a man at third and one out. Sanchez tries to get him home. Let's look at the Hertz scores. Cleveland leading Boston 8-5, and the A's holding on against Tampa Bay 8-3. David Wells gives up a run on 3 hits in 8 innings. They're still playing in Toronto. Rangers move on to Minnesota next, and the Twins are trailing. Astros trying to win their 11th straight game, and they have the lead. And the Astros are red hot. 2-1 to Sanchez, and the Astros need to win tonight to maintain a 3-game lead on Cincinnati in the National League Central, because the Reds won their 7th straight. Now 3-1 to Sanchez. There are some good races going on in the National League. Astros with a 3-game lead on Cincinnati. The Mets are hot. They trail Atlanta in the East by 2 games. To McLemore at second. Bobbles, recovers, gets the man at first, and the run scores from third. So Sanchez is able to get the Met runner home, cutting the lead to 2. It's 4-2 Texas.
Well, the Rangers got a break when Johnny Damon's line drive was caught by Lee Stevens. The Royals get a break on the wild pitch that moved Holbert to third base, and then he's able to score on the ground ball by Ray Sanchez.
So 2 away, and here's Beltran. Oh, 1 to Carlos Beltran. He is 1 for 2 in tonight's game at a ground single through the middle his second time up. He popped to short his first time. Rangers have kept him under control for the most part in this series. He's now 3 for 13 in the series. And Mr. Burkett is up to 80 pitches right now as we play in the 5th. Trying to improve his record to 8-7. A little half swing by Beltran. 1-2. Just missing inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Carlos Beltran. And now 3-2. Burkett got a strikeout of Fasano to end the 4th inning, his lone strikeout of the night. John got 7 strikeouts in his last start against the Indians. Lifted to right center, converging Goodwin and Gonzalez, and Goodwin makes the play. That'll do it for the Royals. They score a run. We're through 5, and Burkett and the Rangers lead by 2.
The Rookie versus Dan the Man, a mile-high showdown. All the reaction tonight.
The Rangers on Fox Sports Net Southwest are brought to you by Hertz, by Aflac Insurance, by Chevron, and by Jack in the Box. Well, here in Kansas City, the Rangers enjoy a 2-run lead over the Royals, 4-2. We're through 5 innings. And let's look back again at Luis Alicea when he laid down the sacrifice bunt in the 5th inning. Coming out of the batter's box, you can see his right leg looks sort of hyperextended the knee back there. Now we have word that Alicea has a pulled right calf muscle.
That doesn't look like it's a day-to-day thing either. That's going to be a while if he pulled the calf muscle.
Nice swing and a miss by Roberto Kelly, 0-1. On that replay, you could see the back foot, the right leg, like a hyperextended knee. Couldn't really tell what part of the lower leg that he had injured at the time. But now we find out it is the calf muscle, a pulled right calf muscle, and this is a tough day for the Rangers injury-wise right now. Rusty Greer injured before the game. He was hit in the left eye by a thrown baseball during batting practice. And Rusty will be out of action several days. Fortunately, after being checked by an ophthalmologist, there is no damage to his retina or optic nerve. And he does have quite a bit of swelling on that left eye, and he'll head back to Texas and will rejoin the team when the team returns home this weekend. Rangers have 2 games in Minnesota, Tuesday night and Wednesday afternoon, and then a day off on Thursday. Well, Roberto is the strikeout victim to start the 6th.
The first baseman, Lee Stevens.
It's now 5 strikeouts for Rosado.
Another one of those good changeups, down and away and out of the strike zone. Not strikes, but pitches that are tough for the hitter to lay off of.
And there's a strike to Stevens, 0-1. Swing and a miss by Stevens. Well, Rosado gets the strikeout at Kelly, and then he gets ahead of Stevens, 0-2. Check this out. The Royals in the first 6 games this year in Arlington against the Rangers issued 40 walks. In this series, the first 3 games of the series, just 3 walks issued by Royals pitching. And Rosado has only walked 1 tonight. There's a walk of Palmeiro in the 1st inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So they averaged nearly 7 walks a game in the first 6 games of the season, and the Rangers won 5 of those 6 games. These games here this weekend, the Royals have won all 3, and they've just issued 3 walks through the first 3 games, now a 4th tonight. 2 down here in the 6th. And Tony Muser has to like that from his pitching staff. Talked about earlier, the bullpen has come through for Kansas City, and yesterday afternoon's game, Al Mormon worked in relief of Jay Wojtaszek and had 2 hitless innings for his first save since 1997. And Clayton fouls it off. It's 1-1. They're now to the 9th inning in St. Pete. The A's 3 outs away from completing a sweep of the Devil Rays, leading it 8-3 in the 9th inning. Continue to put the pressure on the Rangers. 1-2. And Rosado is now to 100 pitches as we play with 2 outs in the 6th. That after 132 pitches in his last start against the Yankees. Off the end of the bat, slowly hit, tough play for Holbert, and Clayton is an out at first base. Ed Napoleon and Clayton irate. First base umpire Doug Eddings with the call, and Johnny will come out too, as well as John Shulock, the home plate umpire. But it's an out to end the inning. 4-2, Texas leads it. As the Rangers have the lead on the Royals, Pudge Rodriguez, a big night, 2 for 3, a double, a home run. He's reached 100 RBIs on the season. Rangers have 5 of their 7 hits for extra bases, and John Burkett threw 5 innings, has thrown 84 pitches and given up 2 runs on 4 hits. Well, this was the play to end the top half of this inning. Holbert with the glove toss, and Clayton with a beef at first base. Now with the ball at shortstop, on to first for the out. And there is 1 out in the 6th. There from the high first base camera angle. We'll see another look at it.
His foot is touching the bag just as the ball goes into the glove. It looks like he's out, like he's safe, by a lot more than he really was. That was very close to being a tie. And when you're the first base umpire and it's a soft throw like that, you can't hear it hit the glove. And a lot of times that's what the umpire goes by, is what he hears. You're right near the bag and you hear the ball hit the glove and you see the foot. But that time he couldn't hear it hit the glove. And you got to kind of watch right in the middle and use your peripheral vision to see the ball go into the glove and the foot hit the bag. And it would appear that Royce had a pretty good beef on that, but it was still a very close play.
1-1 to Sweeney. 1 out here in the 6th. And it's fouled back on the right side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Burkett has gone at least 6 innings in each of his last 3 starts and 4 of his last 5 starts, and he has won 4 of those 5 starts. Comes high and tight that time to Sweeney. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, the Blue Jays have defeated the Yankees 2-1, the final score in Toronto. And Sweeney went around. It's a strikeout for the 2nd out. 2nd strikeout for Burkett tonight.
John tossed that slow curveball up there, and Sweeney couldn't stop the swing.
Well, time now for the Rangers pennant drive update. When the Rangers win, you win. The Rangers are 4 games back for the best record in the American League. And since Texas is 4 games back, Upper Deck tickets for kids 13 and under are just $4 with the purchase of an adult ticket for any home game in September. For tickets, call 817-273-5100 right now. Operators are standing by to take your order. And the Rangers, if they can hold on and win tonight, can pull even with the Yankees as far as the records go in the American League this year. The 2nd behind the Indians record-wise. Clayton makes the play. 1-2-3. An easy inning for John Burkett in the 6th. We go to the 7th. Goodwin, McLemore, and Rodriguez coming up. The 7th inning is brought to you by Texas Manufactured Housing Association. Today's manufactured home, a perfect choice for living, for life. And it is the 7th inning here in Kansas City, and Ranger fans in attendance. We've seen a lot of Ranger fans here at Kauffman Stadium throughout the weekend. In the first 3 games of this series, not all that much to cheer for as far as the Rangers are concerned, but so far so good tonight. As we go to the final 1/3 of this one, we're through 6 innings. Tom Goodwin leading it off in the 7th, to be followed by McLemore and Rodriguez against Jose Rosado. 4-2, Texas leads it. Bunted, popped. First baseman makes the play. Mike Sweeney. And there is 1 out here in the 7th. Well, in that Blue Jay win over the Yankees, 2-1 the final. You take a look at Goodwin trying to bunt his way on. but gets it in the air in an easy play for Sweeney. Blue Jays over the Yankees 2-1. David Wells, a complete game 4-hitter, and Vernon Wells, his first major league home run.
Well, that was a big one in that game too, off a pretty good right-hander.
Orlando Hernandez. Of course, Vernon Wells got the call up a couple of weeks ago from the minor leagues, and he's out of Arlington Bowie High School. Gets his first major league home run against the Yankees tonight. 0-2 to McLemore. McLemore, of course, did not start. Inserted into the game after Luis Alicea suffers the pulled right calf muscle, executing a sacrifice bunt. Just in the batter's box as he made his move towards first base. The pulled right calf muscle, and Alicea has been a key guy off the bench for the Rangers in the second half of the season. And there is a base hit to center field. McLemore is aboard. That is the 8th hit for the Rangers off Rosado. It was the backup infield situation for the Rangers. Of course, John Shave has been with the club all season long. Scott Sheldon played second base at AAA Oklahoma much of the season. Played some other positions too, but primarily at second base this year. And so Sheldon got called up last week. He is with the team. Had a big year, home run wise and RBI wise, with the Rangers AAA team. There's John Shave. One to Rodriguez. And by the way, the AAA Oklahoma Redhawks will start their Pacific Coast League Final Series against Vancouver tomorrow night in Oklahoma City. It's a best-of-5 series. First 2 games to be played in Oklahoma City. Here's Scott Sheldon. Sheldon had 28 home runs, around 100 RBIs for the Oklahoma Redhawks.
Take a look at Pudge's home run. Watch Sal Fasano. You're going to see how a mistake by the pitcher leads to a home run. Watch his glove. His glove comes back toward the inside part of the plate. You can see his glove went from the outside part of the plate where he wanted the pitch all the way across the plate to the inside, right where Pudge liked it, and hit it out of the ballpark. In that case, if you miss, you want to miss away from the plate outside. He missed toward the plate, came right out over the middle of the plate, and Pudge hit it out of the ballpark.
That one was away, and Rosado gets the strikeout.
That's the difference. You make your pitch, throw it where you want, and you've got a pretty good chance. He wants this one outside. He misses with it, actually, but he misses outside. So instead of catching a strike, it's maybe 2 or 3 inches outside, and Pudge can't hit it.
Rosado with a show of emotion after that, registering that strikeout.
Well, after what Pudge has done to him tonight, he's probably happy to get him out like that.
It is the 6th strikeout. Make it the 7th strikeout of the night for Rosado. Here's Palmeiro, man on, 2 outs. Rangers try to add to a 2-run lead. And here is Rosado again with the strikeout. Gets the ball back, and he's fired up.
Pudge shouldn't feel too bad about that. I'll give him a strikeout and let him show his emotion for an RBI double and a 2-run homer any night. I think Pudge got the last laugh in that battle.
That's probably why Rosado was fired up about finally getting Rodriguez.
That's right.
A big out for him tonight. Palmeiro leading the major leagues with a .382 batting average with men on base, and there is a man on base right now. Palmeiro pops it up middle of the infield. Second baseman Holbert makes the play, and that'll do it for the Rangers in the 7th. It's stretch time for an update on what's coming up tonight on Fox Sports News. Let's go to the Fox Network Center for a sports break.
National Car Rental presents this Fox Sports News Sports Break.
Hi, I'm John Kelly of Fox Sports News here with this sports break. Greg Vaughn and Mike Cameron each hit home runs as the Reds beat the Marlins for their 7th straight victory. And some bad news for the Detroit Lions. Star receiver Herman Moore will be out 3 to 5 weeks after spraining his knee in Sunday's win over Seattle. News, scores, and highlights nightly on Fox Sports News, and it's all right here on Fox Sports Net.
4 hits for Kansas City off Burkett through the first 6 innings. Another strong outing, a quality start for Mr. Burkett. Tries to hold on to that 2-run lead and will face the bottom third in the order for Kansas City here in the 7th inning. Early on in this series, that was not necessarily good news for the Rangers facing the bottom of the order because they have come through. But Jeremy Giambi is 0 for 2 tonight. In tonight's game, the 8 and 9 hitters are 2 for 4, Fasano and Holbert. And it's fouled off by Giambi, 0-1. Rangers have the bullpen going as the inning starts. The 2 rookies, Jeff Zimmerman and Mike Venafro. Fouled off, no balls and 2 strikes to Giambi. The A's beat the Devil Rays, final 8-3. So Oakland sweeps the 4-game series, and the A's have now won 5 in a row. Rangers need to win here in Kansas City to maintain a 5.5-game lead on Oakland in the West. Otherwise, it's down to 4.5. And Kevin Appier gets the win for Oakland, the former Royal. Appier tonight for the A's went 8 innings, gave up 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts, getting his 15th win of the year. Blake Stein, one of those who came over in the trade from the A's. He shut down the Rangers on Friday night in the opener of this series, going 7 innings and giving up 1 run on 7 hits.
That's one of those trades that's worked out very well for both teams. Both teams accomplished what they wanted to accomplish. The A's wanted to get a top of the rotation guy with experience, a gritty guy, a veteran, and Kevin Appier has done the job that they've looked for. And the Royals, trying to rebuild, wanted to get rid of some salary, which Kevin Appier carried, and get a young guy for the future, which hopefully for them Blake Stein will be. Pitched a good game against the Rangers, has a good arm, 26 years old, and so they might have accomplished exactly what they're looking for.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Giambi. In 2-2. Appier gets his 6th win as a member of the A's since coming over in the trade in late July. He is 6-3 with Oakland.
And Omar Olivares has pitched well too, another pitcher they acquired. He's won 5 or 6 games also. A lot of the contenders made moves that really helped them. The Red Sox made some good moves, picking up Rod Beck to pitch at the end of the ball game, sometimes as a closer, sometimes as a setup man. Kent Merker as a starter has done a good job.
Butch Husky is another one, a position player.
They needed a right-hand hitter.
And Giambi starts it off with a single. Oz is on the horn to the bullpen. This week, don't miss this week's Cowboys Weekly on Fox Sports Net Southwest. It's Saturday morning at 10, Cowboys Weekly. We'll be previewing the home opener. What a Cowboy win yesterday. Come from behind style against the Redskins. 100 pitches for Burkett. Sal Fasano. There's a strike, 0-1. Fasano with a 2-home run game earlier in this series. 7 RBIs in the series to give him 10 on the year. And with a single tonight off Burkett. 1-1 to Fasano. Royals now with 5 hits off Burkett. We check on the runner at first base. And Fasano, right-handed hitter, followed by the right-handed hitter Holbert. On the top of the order, Johnny Damon, a left-handed hitter. Swing and a miss.
Fasano had the big swing. He was going for the 2-run homer to try and tie the ball game. You see him pull his head a little bit. He took his eye off it. It wasn't a bad pitch to hit. It was a slider, but it looked like he tried to hit it a little too hard, and as he swung at it, his head lifted toward third base and took his eye off the ball.
Here's the 1-2.
One thing about Fasano, he does not move out of the way when the ball comes at him, so you have to be careful when you pitch him in a tight ball game, because he'll let it hit him.
As shown by the statistics last year, he was hit by a pitch 16 times last year. Second in the American League.
Jeff Zimmerman got him a couple of days ago.
Ball gets through the 5-hole. Moving into scoring position, Giambi.
That does it. Eliminates a double play, too. Pudge is so good at catching the ball that sometimes he relies on his glove to catch the ball. That's a wild pitch. It bounced way out in front of Pudge. It looked like it was going to come up, but it kind of skipped and stayed down. Pudge was in pretty good position. There was only a little bit of a space between his glove and the ground, but the ball found that space.
So the count now full to Fasano. And there is ball 4. First 2 men have reached against John Burkett here in the 7th inning. It's the 3rd walk given up by Burkett.
I think it might be a pinch runner right here at first base, the tying run, and here he comes. Looks like Jed Hansen.
2 days ago, he was sent to the minor leagues, and now he's back in a major league game.
He's on base.
The Rangers' next homestand starts on Friday when Jose Canseco and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays come to the ballpark. A 3-game series. Sunday is Fujifilm Photo Day. Fans with a paid admission and a camera will be allowed onto the field prior to the game to take pictures. It is a 2 o'clock start time on Sunday, so it is an afternoon game. Call 817-273-5100. Devil Rays in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The start of the regular season ending 12-game homestand for Texas.
In this situation, Johnny's got Mike Venefro warmed up and ready to come in, and he'll probably come in to pitch to Johnny Damon. This is a bunt situation. Holbert, the 9th place hitter in a 2-run game, is definitely going to be bunting right here. Lee Stevens way in at first, Todd Zeal way in at third. And Johnny will let John Burkett pitch to Holbert, and then depending on what happens, maybe make the change from the lefty to come in to the lefty to come in to pitch to Johnny Damon.
Infield in at the corners, and it is a strike to Holbert, 0-1.
And here's where, as a utility player, which is what Holbert would be for Kansas City, the manager looks for this kind of a player to do the little things, to make the routine plays and to get the bunt down. So as Holbert tries to impress people in September, here's one chance he's got right here. You don't want to blow this opportunity by not getting the sacrifice bunt down. The Rangers hope he does.
Bunts it. It's a good one. Zeal to first. McLemore covers, and Holbert has his 6th sacrifice bunt of the season.
Yeah, that was an excellent bunt. First and second, you want to bunt to third base unless the wheel plays on. Make the third baseman field the ball. Then there's no one at third base to cover third base. The runners move up, and you get yourself a sacrifice bunt. So that was a very nice bunt.
So it was a very big at-bat for Ray Holbert when he wants to impress his boss, make the club next year.
You can see him bearing down, too. He gets the head of the bat out in front of the plate, concentrates, watches the ball, and gets the bunt down. see no one at third base, and on that play there should be no one at first base. The second baseman goes to first base to cover first because the first baseman is charging. The shortstop goes to second base to cover second base.
So Burkett's night is done. We've got a pitching change in Kansas City. Pitchers trying to hold on against the pesky Royals here in Kansas City. Texas leads at 4-2 as we play in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Mike Venafro is the new pitcher to face the left-handed hitting Johnny Damon.
Those are Mike's numbers on the season. Mike has given up some runs lately, 7 earned runs in his last 6 innings. That raised his ERA from 2.60 up to 3.38. And a big at bat for the Rangers right here, though. Lefty versus Johnny Damon.
And there's a strike, 0-1.
I just want to finish something on that bunt play, Bill. I didn't want to imply that the Rangers didn't have someone covering third base. On that play, there is nobody covering third base. A wheel play is the other way to play that ball with the third baseman charging. And then the shortstop, instead of covering second, goes to third base. You hope the batter bunts the ball because you've got the pitcher, the third baseman, and the first baseman all converging on the ball. If they field it, you can get the play at third base. But what the hitter can do is he can chop at the ball and swing away at it because there's no shortstop and there's no second baseman. The second baseman's covering first base.
So it's wide open up the middle.
Right.
McLemore makes the play. Scoring from third is Giambi. An RBI for Johnny Damon. There are 2 outs in the 7th. And that'll bring Johnny out of the bullpen, calling for the right-hander with the right-handed hitting Ray Sanchez coming up.
Managers don't like to use that wheel play for that very reason. There's an open field to shoot at, and if he hits the ball up the middle, now he's driven in a run. It's first and third and nobody out. So you'll give him the sacrifice if he can get the bunt down, and that's just what they did.
So we've got another pitching change here in the 7th inning. Scores, highlights, and interviews from Friday night high school football in Texas. Also remember High School Extra every Sunday morning at 9 right here on Fox Sports Net Southwest, your home of Fox Sports Net. Here in the 7th inning, Jeff Zimmerman is on with 2 outs and the tying run at third base.
Jeff worked a scoreless appearance in his last appearance here, and he had good stuff. He had a good fastball. He had a good hard slider, and boy, he needs it right here. The Rangers clinging to a 1-run lead against the pesky Royals. You've got a good contact hitter in Ray Sanchez at the plate. He usually puts the ball in play.
And important for Pudge to keep that ball from going back to the screen. 1-0 to Sanchez. Sanchez has struck out 39 times this season. Jed Hansen, the runner at third base. And it's a ball and a strike to Sanchez. Well, 2-1 to Sanchez. I think they may have to call this Royal team the Pesky Royals. The Kansas City Pesky Royals. They won't go away this weekend.
No, they won't. There's been a couple of times where the Rangers looked like they had a pretty solid lead, and the Royals have come back.
And it's now 3 balls and 1 strike to Sanchez. Sanchez walked in the first inning. Burkett walked 3. Here's the 3-1. McLemore with the leap, but can't come up with it, and this game is tied. Ray Sanchez comes through on the 3-1 pitch. He gets the liner just over a leaping McLemore at second base.
He didn't hit it very hard. It looked like he hits it off the end of the bat. It's a 3-1 pitch right off the end of the bat. Mac goes as high as he can, but he just dumped that little blooper into the right field. Tied the ball game.
So now the Royals with the go-ahead runner on, and Carlos Beltran at the plate. He's 1 for 3. 2 runs across here in the 7th inning, both charged to John Burkett, who will not come up with his 8th win of the year. Fouled back by Beltran, 0-1.
Going the line for John, it's going to be 6 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, but that's misleading. He pitched an outstanding game. He had great off-speed stuff today, kept the Royals off balance. Ended up giving a base hit, ground ball up the middle to Giambi and a walk, and both of them have come around to score. The key play in the inning is the good sacrifice bunt by Ray Holbert. That set the inning up. Ground ball by Damon, scored a run, and then the blooper scored a run.
Beltran leading American League rookies with 20 home runs. It's Rookie of the Year candidate Beltran facing Rookie of the Year candidate Jeff Zimmerman here. Pudge sets up away, and the pitch is away out of the strike zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Zimmerman worked an inning yesterday. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Zimmerman last had worked on last Tuesday against the Indians, so he had some rest in between outings. And now the 2nd straight hitter he has fallen behind. 3 balls and 1 strike. This game now in the hands of Jeff Zimmerman and the Ranger bullpen. The 2nd straight day the Royals have come from 3 runs down. And there is ball 4. Now 2 men on. That'll send Dick Bosman to the mound. Ranger pitchers have now walked 4, 2 of them in this inning.
Jermaine Dye has shown that he's a good RBI man. His 101 RBIs, 102 now after a double in the 1st inning. Shows that he's a good RBI man. He hasn't done it just with home runs. He's got 23 home runs. He had a lot of doubles and a lot of singles to drive in runs too.
So Zimmerman facing Dye, the General Motors key play of the game. Right here, 1st and 2nd are the runners in a tie ball game, bottom of the 7th inning. Kansas City bids to take the lead on the Rangers after Texas had a 4-1 lead after 4.5 innings. Royals scored 1 in the bottom of the 5th, and they've scored a couple more here in the 7th. Not done yet. Dye 1 for 3 with an RBI double in the 1st. And Zim just misses with that one. It's 1-0 to Dye.
Boy, he did just miss with it. He threw it right where he wanted to. Slider aiming for the outside corner, but it must have been just a little bit outside.
And now the 1-0. That time he gets the call. Zimmerman comes on, gives up an RBI single to Sanchez, and now after a walk to Beltran, 2 on, 2 out, and the 1-1. Dye lays off it. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Dye has walked 46 times this season. He has struck out 105 times. And a swing and a miss, 93 miles an hour from the Ziminator.
Jeff trying to keep the ball away from Dye. Right on the outside corner with good velocity. The 2-2. And strike 3 called.
Zimmerman gets died in the 7th inning, but we are tied at 4 through 7 in Kansas City. Kansas City. Rangers and the Royals are now tied at 4 through 7 as once again Kansas City has battled from 3 runs down to tie the game, and a big strikeout for the Ziminator.
He had a pretty close call with one that wasn't called a strike. That one was a little bit higher and on the outside corner, and that time he did get the call.
So Zimmerman is able to work out of a jam after 2 men reach base. John Burkett, the Rangers starter, will not have a chance to get the win tonight, but he won't take a loss either. This game is tied. Burkett appreciates the work of Mr. Zimmerman. And in all likelihood, Zimmerman will be out to work the 8th inning as well. He hopes to be able to take the mound with a lead, but to do so, the Rangers have to get to the Royal bullpen, and Scott Service is on.
Scott Service has been struggling. His ERA is .570. He was knocked around for 2 runs on 2 hits and 1/3 of an inning on Friday night against the Rangers, and they'll try to do that again tonight.
And Chad Kruder makes his first appearance in this series. Rangers have Sal Fasano out of the lineup, as Fasano was pinch run for last inning, and Service comes on, and making the play over there over the railing is Sweeney, and he holds on to it. Gonzalez is retired.
The third baseman, Todd Zeile.
Sweeney just had enough room. And all he can do to keep from tumbling all the way over. One down, and Todd Zeile, the hitter. Sharply hit, but foul. Smart play by the ball boy down the line. You want to make sure that that's...
Yes. We've seen that a couple of times where the ball boy goes out and fields a fair ball.
That happened to be foul, but better be safe than sorry.
Yes, sir.
Better to be safe than embarrassed. A check swing, foul ball, and Service gets ahead of Zeile. No balls and 2 strikes. Well, Service is the lone Royal relief pitcher to give up a run in this series. Gave up those 2 runs in 1/3 of an inning on Friday night. But since then, Rangers have not managed a run against the Kansas City bullpen in this series. Tim Burdock and Jeff Montgomery, an inning and 2/3 scoreless innings on Friday night. Then it was Chris Fussell and Jeff Montgomery combining for 3 1/3 scoreless innings on Saturday night. And then yesterday afternoon, Al Mormon with 2 scoreless hitless innings. 2-2. And there is the lefty Burdick in the Royal bullpen. And strike 3 called. 2 down in the 8th.
Check Kruder's glove. Had to reach down for it a little bit. Just depends where he had his glove in the first place. From our angle, we can't tell. Todd obviously thought it was outside.
And here is Roberto Kelly. Strike 1 from Service. 0-1. Kelly with a couple of hits off Scott Service. This time Service is ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. In fact, Kelly 2 for 2 with a home run against Scott Service. Kelly with 6 home runs on the year this year, has an RBI tonight on a sacrifice fly. Reaches for that one and just hangs in there. For a time this year, Service was used as the closer by Kansas City. Talked about the problems that the Royals have had in their bullpen, but they haven't had any problems in this series. And Service continues that with consecutive strikeouts of Zeal and Kelly to end the 8th. 4-4 headed to the bottom of the 8th.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.
I think you're beautiful. Gee, thanks. I was talking to the beer.
Rangers Twins, Wednesday at 12 on Fox Sports Net.
Well, here at Kauffman Stadium, got another good one going, and the Rangers in need of shutting down the Royals, give themselves another chance in the 9th inning to take the lead. It's up to Zimmerman here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Royals have managed 4 runs on 6 hits off the Rangers. Texas with 4 runs, 8 hits. No errors in this one. And it's Mike Sweeney with 21 home runs on the year and 96 runs batted in to face Zimmerman. 0 for 2 in tonight's game. Struck out his last time. First one's in there for a strike, 0-1. Zimmerman getting a huge strikeout of Jermaine Dye to end the 7th inning after Sanchez singled off him to bring home the tying run, and Beltran walked. This is popped up right side of the infield. Stevens, the first baseman, makes the play. And there's one down in the 8th. Well, the Indians defeated Boston tonight. They held on to beat the Red Sox 11-7. So the Rangers need to win here to stay 4 games back of Cleveland in the overall standings in the American League. And the Indians with a 4-game lead on New York as the Yankees lost. Swing and a miss.
Jeff's really throwing hard. That one got up to 95 miles an hour. Every one of them's been above 93 miles an hour. And in his last outing, he was throwing pretty well too. When people can sound like they're concerned about Jeff and being overused, it certainly doesn't appear that recently the way he's throwing the ball.
Right center field. Goodwin makes the play. Joe Randa is gone. And there are 2 outs in the 8th.
I know Jeff doesn't feel that way. And we talked about that during the last homestand. When you look at the pitchers that have been used the most in the American League, there's a lot of pitchers, a lot of relief pitchers with more appearances, with more innings. And certainly you want to use Jeff the way he's been pitching as frequently as possible, but I don't think you can use him any better than Johnny Oates has used him this year. He's used him as much as he can, and at the same time doing everything he can to make sure he's healthy and strong coming down the stretch. And he looks strong right now. He's throwing the ball fine. The problem that he had was he set such high standards. His numbers were so great that anytime he gave up a couple of runs, the question might be raised, is he tired? Well, he's just not necessarily tired. He's just not perfect. He's going to have
human.
Yes, he's going to have some bad games. It doesn't mean he's tired. It just means he had a bad game. He put 2 of them back to back, which raised some concern, but I don't think anybody in the dugout's too concerned about him. I think they count on him to bounce back and pitch well, and that seems to be what he's doing right now.
1 ball, 1 strike to Jeremy Giambi. 2-1. And as we pointed out in his last appearance last week, number of innings that Jeff had last year in the minor leagues at Charlotte and Tulsa are similar to the number of innings he has thrown this year in the major leagues. He had 77 innings pitched last year, gave up 48 hits. This year, coming into this one tonight, 81 innings pitched and 41 hits given up. Very similar numbers. And there is the strikeout. 2 strikeouts on the night for Zimmerman. In the 9th inning, the Rangers try to snap the tie with Stevens, Clayton, and Goodwin coming up.
Introducing NFL This Morning on Fox Sports Net. Join Chris Myers and an all-pro team, including the gang from Fox NFL Sunday. NFL This Morning, Sundays, followed by Fox NFL Sunday.
At every Friday home game from now through the end of the season, you'll enjoy a $39 date night here at the ballpark. Look for a coupon in the Dallas Morning News.
And for your $39,
you'll receive 2 club-level seats to an exciting Rangers baseball game.
now these are the seats with a friendly wait service.
Plus, you'll share an appetizer at Friday's Front Row Grill with the purchase of an entree right after the game.
The only thing this package does not include
is your date, because you're on your own there.
For more information, contact the Rangers.
And watch the Rangers and Blue Jays.
Saturday at 2:30 on KXTX 39.
Tonight on Fox Sports News Prime Time. Down and out on opening day in the NFL. Who's hurt? How long will they be gone?
Right now, this is a pretty difficult set of circumstances for us.
Plus, the rookie versus Dan the Man, a mile-high showdown, all the reaction. And the NFL owners meet to decide on football in La La Land.
Then on the last word.
Jim Rome sits down with the Browns head man, Chris Palmer, get the last word on the dog pound. Fox Sports News Prime Time, followed by the last word tonight after the game.
Well, the Rangers and Royals go to the 9th inning. We're tied at 4. And time for the Dallas Morning News Sports Day front page headline, double vision. As in, a lot of doubles hit by both teams in tonight's game. Rangers with 4 of them. The Royals with some doubles as well. Lee Stevens with one to the wall in right center field. Double vision. Lee Stevens tries to get the Rangers going in the 9th inning. He's the new pitcher for Kansas City, 3rd pitcher of the night. Stevens had the double off the lefty earlier, and now he tries to do the same against the lefty Tim Burdick.
Tim Burdick pitched Friday against the Rangers, 2/3 of an inning, gave up a walk and a couple of hits, didn't give up a run that day. His ERA is close to 9. Pitched very well in the minor leagues at Omaha. He was 3-1 with 4 saves and a 181 earned run average in 33 games. Has a good arm. Tunes it up there above 90 miles an hour.
Stevens 1 for 3 with that double. To be followed by Clayton and Goodwin. And it's a ball and a strike to Stevens. This one goes the opposite way, and Johnny Damon back near the track makes the play. Burdick gets Stevens to start the 9th. And now Royce Clayton tries to get the Rangers going here in the 9th inning. Oriole pitchers have now retired the last 6 men they have faced. They have held the Rangers scoreless since the 5th when Rodriguez got the 2-run homer that gave the Rangers a 4-1 lead at that point. Low for a ball, 1-0. The A's win over Tampa 8-3 and now have moved within 2 games of the Red Sox in the wild card race in the American League as Boston loses to Cleveland 11-7. And the Rangers needing to win to stay 5.5 ahead of the A's. Rangers still have the best record in the American League since the All-Star break, 37 wins and 20 losses, but the A's are right even with them now at 37 and 20 with the win tonight. And there is ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to Clayton. Rangers have that go-ahead run on base.
Well, it's been a problem for Burdick. Bases on balls. He's walked 13 in 20 innings coming into the ball game. And in this kind of a game, that's the last thing you want to do is issue a free pass.
That's something that the Royals have rarely done in this 4-game series, as we talked about earlier. That's the 2nd walk given up by Tony Muser's team tonight. The first one was back in the 1st inning, a walk to Palmeiro. And it's just the 5th walk issued by the Royals in this series. Clayton with good speed at first base. It's 0-1 to Goodwin. In case you joined us late, the Rangers have had a couple of injuries tonight. Rusty Greer before the game. A swollen left eye after being hit by a thrown baseball in the outfield during batting practice. And Rusty will head back to Texas and won't be able to play until at least the weekend. The good news, after checking with an ophthalmologist, no damage to the retina or optic nerve, but a scary moment during batting practice before this game. And then during the game in the 5th inning, Luis Alicea suffers a pulled right calf muscle. It will be at least several days before Alicea returns.
Yeah, and it could be a lot longer than several days too if he really pulled that calf muscle. That's the kind of thing, if it happens during the middle of the season, might be a disabled list type thing. Of course, you don't need to use the disabled list in September because you've got expanded rosters.
No balls, 2 strikes to Goodwin. Now 1-2. Rangers move on to Minnesota after this one. It's a brief 2-game series against the Twins. Jeff Fassero gets the start tomorrow night for Texas against the rookie Jason Ryan for Minnesota. And then an afternoon game, a noon start on Wednesday, Esteban Loaiza for Texas against the Twins ace Brad Radke. Tim Burdick working to Tom Goodwin. And a balk call. Clayton moves into scoring position. Shulock explaining to Chad Kruder what he saw. Now Tony Muser comes out.
Who balked earlier in this series? Was that Tim Burdick? Someone started their motion and stopped it. They're going to discuss the balk. Usually that's what happens. Let's see what happens here. He's on the rubber. Gets his sign.
It was Suppan.
Suppan, okay. There it is right there. He moved his glove. Called a balk on him. And what John Shulock is saying is he wasn't shaking the sign off. He was starting his delivery. His glove. That's not the balk right there. The balk came before that.
Now Shulock and Muser going at it. Muser has been tossed from this game. Jaw to jaw.
And we hope you're not reading lips in this one.
Muser won't leave before he gives him an earful, and Shulock giving it right back.
Well, what fans are left are getting some entertainment. They're enjoying it. Tony got it out of the system.
A crowd of 11,643 here at Kauffman Stadium tonight. The Rangers with the runner in scoring position after the balk call. And now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tom Goodwin. And Goodwin is an out. A strikeout at the plate.
Seen Tony out there arguing, but if you like arguments, that was a pretty good one, I guess. A fastball in that Tom starts his swing and tries to check it, and John Shulock will ring him up on the check swing.
Well, here's McLemore. It's up to Mac to come through with the man at second base. Now 2 outs here in the 9th. McLemore had a single in his lone plate appearance tonight. Burdick with the 1-0 pitch, and McLemore fouls it off. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Royal bullpen now with 7 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings against the Rangers in this series. But the Rangers trying to snap that string here. Tim Burdick, the lefty, with the 1-1 pitch. McLemore got his base hit against the lefty Rosado. Of course, as we've talked about, McLemore hitting much better as a left-handed hitter than as a right-handed hitter this season, hitting over 300 as a lefty, under 150 as a right-hander. And it's now 3 balls and 1 strike. McLemore trying to come through after Clayton had a walk with 1 out here in the 9th. And McLemore is now aboard. 2 walks in the inning given up by Burdick. And Rodriguez will get a chance. What a night Pudge has had already.
He won't get a chance against Tim Burdick, though. Jamie Quirk, the interim manager, will come out and he'll bring in the right-hander.
So serving in the manager capacity after Muser was tossed from this game, Jamie Quirk out to the mound. In the top of the 9th inning, Rangers trying to snap a 4-4 tie. Pudge will be up when we come back. College football Saturday coming up this Saturday. It's Boston College and Navy, Wisconsin, Cincinnati, Air Force versus Washington, and Stanford against Arizona. It starts Saturday morning at 11 right here on Fox Sports Net Southwest, a quadruple header. Rangers with a threat here in the 9th inning. 4-4 game, new pitcher on for Kansas City. The new call-ups for the Royals just yesterday, Jose Santiago.
Yeah, he was reinstated from the active roster. He was on the disabled list with a sore right trapezius muscle since June 25th. And he stopped at a couple of minor league stops in his rehab. He was in the Gulf Coast League. That's the rookie league. He went to AA, he went to AAA, pitched a little bit in each place. And now he's back in the big leagues. And he's got a tough assignment right here with Pudge Rodriguez at the plate. Pudge swinging the bat well in this ball game. 3 of the 4 RBIs, a double and a 2-run homer. And the go-ahead runs out there at second base. And you couldn't pick a better guy to have up there. I'm Santiago. I'm not throwing him a strike.
And he didn't. 1-0.
I'm going to throw the ball down around his ankles and hope he swings at it. When you throw him a strike out over the plate, it's going to be a line drive. I would bet on that.
If you were a betting man.
If I were a betting man.
First and second, 2 outs. 1-1.
Looks like Santiago has the same idea.
Santiago out of Puerto Rico, just like Pudge. "24 years old, 6'3", 215-pounder. And Pudge lifts this one to right. Jermaine Dye comes on. And the Rangers leave 2 men on in the 9th inning. We go to the bottom of the 9th. 4-4 is the score. It's Wetland time when we come back. Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Net Southwest has been brought to you by Coors Light, which reminds you the 3 most important words are, "Hey, beer man." Well, here in Kansas City, the Rangers and Royals are deadlocked at 4 going to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Royals trying to come up with their first 4-game sweep of a series since early May. They swept 4 in Minnesota back in May. And they're also trying to match their longest winning streak of the year at 4 in a row. John Wetland is on. It's Wetland time in a tie game in the 9th.
And you can believe this is a big game for the Rangers and Johnny Oates, bringing John Wetland into a tie ball game. He's been pitching great. Last 15 outings, his ERA is right about 1. Leads the major leagues in saves. He's recorded a save in 4 straight games, 4 scoreless innings. This is not a save situation. This is a try to get the win situation, pitch a couple of innings. Johnny does not want to lose 4 straight games right here, particularly since the A's have already won, and he's going to use all his weapons to try to win this ball game.
So Wetland will face the 8-9-1 hitters. Chad Kruder batting for the first time tonight. Kruder has a couple of hits in his career off Wetland. In fact, he's 2 for 4. And the first pitch at the knees for a strike, 0-1. Kruder had a long slump that started back on about August 10th. He snapped an 0 for 38 stretch last Wednesday against the Yankees when he went 2 for 4. That was the longest drought in the big league since Dan Howett went 0 for 43 in 1992 with the A's and Mariners. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Downstairs in the dirt, 2-1. The idea for John Wetland here is throw a limited number of pitches, get the side out in the 9th, and the Rangers can hopefully take the lead in the 10th, and Wetland would work the bottom of the 10th as well.
You get a win and a save in that situation?
Yeah, there you go. Kruder down the line in right, but foul. It's 3:30 down the line here at Kauffman Stadium. And a Ranger fan with a souvenir. The 2-2 pitch to Kruder. A high, hard one, and Kruder can't catch up with it. It's a strikeout for Wetland. 1 down in the 9th.
Ray Holbert.
This is where John's trying to throw this pitch. He's trying to get Chad to swing at that high fastball. Going up the ladder, as they say, and he was successful.
And that brings up the 9th place hitter, Ray Holbert, who had a double earlier. Low for a ball, 1-0. Holbert hitting .288 on the season, just his 26th game he's appeared in. And it's fouled back, 1-1 to Holbert. Holbert was away from the club the last couple of days as his wife was expecting their 2nd child. So he went home. He got the start in Friday's game. And has extended his hit streak to 5 games in a row. 2-1. And he is 8 for 17 during this current 5-game hit streak. So he's a hot hitter right now. The 2-1 pitch. And it's 2-2 to Ray Holbert. Royals play a doubleheader here tomorrow against the Angels. And with the expanded rosters, there are more arms available in the bullpen. And a nice pitch by Wetland. 2 straight strikeouts to start the 9th.
Now, Holbert got himself in the hole by swinging at the 2-1 pitch that was out of the strike zone instead of 3-1. Now he's looking at 2-2, and Wetland hits the outside corner with a slider.
And here is Johnny Damon. 2 straight strikeouts, and there is strike 1 to Damon. Damon 1 for 7 in his career against Wetland. Wetland appearing, of course, for the first time in this series. And he gets ahead of Damon 0-2.
John looking pretty sharp, too. The only fastball he's thrown above the knees has been the one to Kruder, and he threw it up there on purpose to get the strikeout, but he's kept his fastball at the knees, and it's about as good a curveball as he can throw. Big, sharp, hard-breaking curveball.
The 0-2. Right side, and it dribbles through for a base hit. Damon is headed for second. Gonzalez with the throw offline. Zeal there to back it up. Damon's in scoring position.
They give Damon a lot of credit right there. The ball dribbled through because Lee Stevens has to guard the line in that situation in a tie ball game, because you don't want to give up a double. Well, he's guarding the line. The ball's hit into right field softly, and Damon sprinting right out of the box goes into second base, and he's got a double on a ground ball to right field. Juan's playing a little deeper than he would normally play because he doesn't want the ball hit over his head. And so the Rangers are playing in a position not to give up a double, and Damon gets a double on a ground ball to right field.
Ray Sanchez has 4 hits in 5 at-bats against John Wetland in his career. He's 4 for 5 with 4 singles. And there's a strike, 0-1. Sanchez hitting .293 on the season. That's how important it was that Damon was able to get to second base for the Royals with Sanchez. A singles type hitter. Damon with good speed in scoring position here. Wetland with the 1-1, and it's fouled off. 1-2. Sanchez had the RBI single off Jeff Zimmerman. It's a soft liner over the head of McLemore at second base that brought home the tying run in the 7th inning. Now he has a chance to deliver home the winning run for the Royals against Wetland. The 1-2 pitch. Right side, right at Stevens. And Stevens steps on the bag, and the Rangers can breathe a sigh of relief. Royals lead the potential winning run in scoring position. We've got extra innings in Kansas City. When your life goes into extra innings, find the energy. Feel your Ginsana. We go to extra innings here in Kansas City. We are tied at 4. As John Wetland was able to get out of the 9th inning with a man in scoring position. 4-4 is the score. Rangers have out-hit the Royals 8-7. Rangers trying to avoid matching their season high with a 4-game losing streak. 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming up for Texas in the 10th inning against Jose Santiago. It's Rafael Palmeiro, Juan Gonzalez, and Todd Zeal.
Jose Santiago got a big out in the 9th inning. He got Pudge Rodriguez to pop up to right field with 2 men on. So each team had a chance in the 9th inning. Man in scoring position and couldn't get him in.
Palmeiro fouls it off. Rafi is 0 for 3 in tonight's game. He walked in the 1st inning.
I watched a replay of Johnny Damon's double just to make sure what happened on it, and Juan was playing a little deeper where you want him to play so a ball's not hit over his head. And the minute the ball was hit, he broke toward the ball and came in after it as fast as he could. Damon, just who hit the ball, just dribbled it into right field with his speed, and the way he took the corner around first base was just able to beat it. It's as simple as that.
Palmeiro slowly hit to Sanchez at short, and there's 1 up, 1 down for Santiago here in the 10th.
The right fielder, Juan Gonzalez.
Gonzalez coming to the plate. Here's another look at the play.
There's a little dribbler, and you can see Juan coming from deep in right field. You have to slow down to pick the ball up, but he came in and threw it as hard as he could, ran as hard as he could. It just shows you the kind of speed and how Johnny Damon hustled out of the box to get into second base. You know, as a right fielder, you might see that ball hit and just assume that it's a single and come in casually to field it and then get burned by the runner, but that's not what happened.
Here's the 1-0. I remember Johnny Damon earlier this year on balls hit just like that, even when it wasn't a tie game late in the game like that, where he's thinking second. If a ball is hit slowly through or into the gap, even if it's cut off by an outfielder, he's thinking second base. Good aggressive base runner. And it's 2-0 to Gonzalez. It's one of the reasons that Johnny Damon has 39 doubles on the season now, to go along with 9 triples. 3-0 to Gonzalez. Juan is 2 for 4 in this game. And on the 3-0 pitch, he grounds to third. Randa pulls him off the bag, and Gonzalez is safe. An error charge to Randa at third base.
Randa was guarding the line so there wouldn't be a double. The ball was hit right to him. Hit pretty well. You can see him right on the line. Makes the easy play. Not an especially difficult throw, but it's up the line. And Juan hustled all the way and beat it. That'll go as an error on the third baseman.
And clearly, the swipe tag by Sweeney misses Gonzalez as he goes by. So the go-ahead run on base for the Rangers here in the 10th.
There's another example. You're hitting 3-0. You hit the ball to third base. You're a little bit upset. If you don't hustle all the way, the ball takes the first baseman off the bag and he makes the tag and you're out. But if you hustle all the way and he makes a bad throw, now you're safe and you're the go-ahead run at first base. And Juan hustling all the way, and he did beat it.
Here's the 2-0 to Zeal, and it's a grounded foul. 2-1. Yeah, you're right. That ball was hit so sharply to third, it made it an easy play for Randa at third. It'd be easy to give up on it.
You just make the assumption that you're going to be out. Randa's made a lot of long, accurate throws in this series, so you don't expect him to make a bad throw. But there's no reason for not running as fast as you can to first base every time you hit the ball. You don't have to do it that often, and there's no excuse for not doing it. And it can really come into play and help a ball club when you do it. And let's hope that's the case right here with Juan at first base.
Now 3-2 to Zeal. Todd 0 for 4 in this game. And this is fouled off on the right side. We'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Santiago last pitched at the big league level on June 19th. Back up the middle and a base hit for Zeal. Juan to second. He'll hold on there as Beltran comes up with it quickly. And the Rangers have runners at first and second with 1 out in the 10th. Once again, the Rangers with an opportunity against this Royal bullpen. Here's what's coming up on Fox Sports News primetime after the game tonight. It's the race for 70. Pennant races as well. Lots of action in both leagues. And an NFL injury update. A lot of injuries on the opening weekend of the NFL season. Two on, 1 out for Roberto. Kelly had a sacrifice fly earlier in the game. And Santiago misses with that one, 1-0. Fouled at the plate, 1-1. Manny Ramirez was once again out of the lineup for the Indians today. He's at 144 RBIs and holding. Palmeiro 11 behind in the RBI race. Charles Nagy got his 16th win for the Indians in that 11-7 win over Boston. Santiago with the 1-1 pitch. Grounded left side, through for a base hit. Gonzalez being waved home. Damon with the throw into third base, and the Rangers have the lead. It's 5-4 Texas. Roberto Kelly comes through with a base hit. And high fives all around in the Ranger dugout for Juan Gonzalez.
You don't always have to hit the home run to win the ball game. The little things help you win the ball game. Rangers put together a couple of singles after Juan hustled to first base on the ground ball, beat the tag at first base, and the error by Randa leads to an unearned run, and the Rangers will take it.
And it leads to Jamie Quirk going to the mound again. And a left-handed hitting Lee Stevens coming up. The Rangers finally break through against the Royal bullpen. We've got another pitching change. Rangers over the Royals 5-4. Texas takes the lead here in the top of the 10th inning. Having to go extra frames against the Royals. They have taken the first 3 games of this series. The new pitcher on for Kansas City is the 5th hurler of the night for the Royals, Alvin Moorman.
Alvin Moorman pitched great in yesterday's ball game. 2 innings, 2 strikeouts. Ended up getting a save. He was throwing hard and making a lot of good pitches.
42nd appearance of the year for Moorman. And they'll be facing the left-handed hitting Lee Stevens. Well, the Rangers take advantage of the error committed by the third baseman Joe Randa here in the inning. And the Rangers try to add to the lead with runners at first and second and 1 out. It's this Royals team. You want as many runs as you can get the way they're playing this week. Stevens 1 for 4. And it's 1-0 to Big Lee. Jose Rosado started for the Royals, went 7 innings, 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 walk and 7 strikeouts. He was followed by Scott Service, Tim Burdick, and Jose Santiago, who is on the hook for this one. Although it is an unearned run, the Rangers have scored off him. Here's the 1-0. Grounded right side off the glove of Sweeney, over the head of the second baseman Holbert, and Zeal around third will score. 2 runs in now in the 10th. A 2-run lead for Texas as Lee Stevens hits one to first, and too hot to handle for the first baseman Sweeney.
A couple of plays that could have been made by the Royals. Certainly Randa's should have been made. This one is a little bit of a tougher play. This is one of those borderline, is it a hit, is it an error? Tries to backhand it, takes a hop off the arm into right field, run scores. Haven't seen the ruling on it yet.
And it is an error charged to Sweeney. 2nd error of the inning charged to the Royals. So it's a couple of unearned runs and a 2-run lead for Texas. Another pitching change. Well, a couple of unearned runs for the Rangers in the top of the 10th inning, and Texas has a 6-4 lead on Kansas City, trying to salvage the finale of this 4-game series against the Royals. And a new pitcher on for Kansas City, the 6th of the night. It's Brad Rigby, the right-hander.
Brad Rigby came over in the Kevin Napier trade along with Blake Stein. Shown Blake Stein a number of times today. He pitched against the Rangers very well as a starting pitcher. Brad pitching out of the bullpen. He's only given up a couple of earned runs in his last 10 outings. Former A's high draft choice, a sandwich pick out of Georgia Tech. Would be a good addition to this Royals pitching staff. You can use him as a setup man, as a long reliever, and even as a starting pitcher. He's certainly done a lot of that in his minor league career. One of 2 good arms at the big league level. They got another player in that trade, was Jeff D'Amico, hard-throwing young relief pitcher who's probably done for the season. Pitched in AAA ball at Omaha after he came over in the trade.
Well, Royce Clayton, the hitter, with runners at the corners and 1 out to face Rigby here. Royce had a walk in the 9th inning. And that one gets away all the way back to the screen, and Kelly in to score. It's a 3-run lead.
This is what you call a pretty ugly inning from Kansas City's standpoint.
It's a pretty inning from Texas'
standpoint. Texas Rangers standpoint, it is beautiful. Not a real good job by Chad Kruder trying to block that ball with a man on third base. He tried to backhand it instead of getting the palm of his glove up, going down on both knees and blocking it. Kicked off his glove for another run.
It's 2-0 to Clayton. Rangers now with a 7-4 lead on Kansas City.
All 3 runs are unearned.
And everything's going to be unearned in this inning. Royals charged with a couple of errors. First one coming after there was 1 out, as Santiago was able to get Palmeiro to start the inning. Then Gonzalez boarded on an error, throwing error, charged to the third baseman Randa. A Zeal single, a Kelly single. Now a chopper up the middle. Sanchez with a long throw, the stretch by Sweeney, and Clayton is the second out. Moving to third is Stevens. Rigby will now face Tom Goodwin. Rangers move on after this one to Minnesota. Jeff Fassero tomorrow night against the rookie Jason Ryan for the Twins. Twins tonight trailing the Angels 6-5. They're playing at the Metrodome tonight. They're in the bottom of the 9th. And Goodwin with a base hit over the head of a leaping Holbert at second base. And the Rangers have a 4-run lead. Another unearned run. It's 8-4 Texas. Goodwin has a couple of hits tonight. One was a broken bat single. This was a liner to right center.
Belt high fastball right out over the plate. Holbert got up as high as he could, which was pretty high. He couldn't get it.
So here is McLemore. McLemore, the 8th Ranger to bat here in the 10th inning. And there's a strike, 1-1. Rangers have the bullpen going now. A couple of pitchers throwing. So Johnny has a decision to make as far as Wetland pitching a second inning tonight.
I think he'll pitch that second inning. That's Mike Morgan and Matt Parrish show.
Getting some work in.
I think that's what it is.
And Goodwin on his way to second. He is in there. 2 balls and 1 strike.
The reason they wouldn't have thrown earlier is because in case the game went on forever, they might have had to pitch in this game. But once it looks like the game is well in hand, they'll get their work in, and Wetland probably will come out for the bottom of the inning.
Now what could change it if this turns into a humongous inning for Texas? That one gets away, and Goodwin moves to third.
It's not getting any better for Kansas City. Chad Kruder's glad he came into this ball game. Pitchers are eating him up so far.
So the Rangers with a runner at third. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike to McLemore. Rangers took a 4-1 lead in this game at the midway point, middle of the 5th inning. Royals came back to tie it at 4. Now the Rangers have scored 4 here in the 10th. On to first base from Holbert to get McLemore. And we go to the bottom of the 10th inning, a 4-run cushion for Wetland and the Rangers. Stinks, follow your way, Homewood. Bottom of the 10th inning, the home half of the 10th inning, and the Kansas City Royals send up the 3, 4, and 5 hitters against John Wetland. The Rangers now with 8 runs on 11 hits. The Royals with 2 costly errors in the top half of this inning. 4 unearned runs. Rangers did finally snap the shutout string for the Royal bullpen. They had gone 8 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings in this series. They still have not given up an earned run since Friday night. Beltran with a swing and a miss, 0-1. Grounded slowly to McLemore. Up with it quickly. Beltran with good speed, and McLemore just nips him. And there's 1 out in the 10th.
Beltran almost hustled his way to a base hit right there. Pretty close play. Got him by about a half a step. Boy, what a great shot that is. About a foot off the bag when he caught it.
Here's Jermaine Dye at an RBI double way back in the 1st inning. Astros beat the Phillies tonight 13-2. Houston's won its 11th consecutive game.
Phillies haven't been doing too well.
No, they
last
haven't.
month.
They've lost 10 in a row. Kurt Schilling was scratched from that start. He's had shoulder problems the second half of the year. Two and 1. Mets beat the Rockies 6-5. So the Mets continue winning. It's 3 in a row. The Braves are trailing San Diego 3-0. This one's hitting the gap, going all the way to the wall. Goodwin plays it off the wall, and Jermaine Dye is into second base. It's a 1-out double for Dye, his 2nd double of this game. And the Royals have their 8th hit.
Fastball. Jermaine Dye gets on top of it and rips that double line shot into the gap.
And here is Mike Sweeney. Right side, through for a base hit. Dye will hold on at 3rd. Gonzalez comes up with it quickly. And the Royals have runners at the corners. They will not go quietly. The 3rd hit given up by Wetland. We've got the tying run on deck now. Joe Randa trying to atone for the error that he made in the top half of this inning. It opened the door for the Rangers. Randa 0 for 4 at the plate tonight. And Wetland leaves it away for a ball, 1-0. Ground ball, Clayton steps on second, on to first, the double play, and the Rangers finally win one in Kansas City. John Wetland gets the win in relief for Texas. Royals made it a bit interesting in the bottom of the 10th inning, but the Rangers with 4 unearned runs in the top half of the 10th inning to finally win one in Kansas City. And the Rangers with a 5.5 game lead in the West. For Tom Grieve and our entire crew, Bill Jones saying goodnight from Kansas City. Once again, our final, the Rangers 8, the Royals 4. Our next Ranger telecast comes your way tomorrow at 7 on KXTX in Dallas as the Rangers continue this road trip and meet the Twins in Minnesota. Our next Fox Sports Net Southwest Ranger telecast, noon Wednesday, also against the Twins. Coming up immediately, Fox Sports News Prime Time. You've been watching Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Net Southwest, your home of Fox Sports Net.